two teams in this town again.
We haven't seen Port Adelaide play like the Port Adelaide of old for a long time, Dwayne, but their supporters now be proud as I've ever been.
I was proud of the boys, the way they play, you know, the way they play tough, hard footy.
Look at the tackling, it's been first class.
Footy, oh! They're still circling though, Port Adelaide. There's no easy escape.
We defend hard first and then we play brave off that, and that's the way we want to play footy.
Oh, fantastic tackle on Elliott. Westhoff back with a flight. Well, they both go so hard, they knock each other out.
Every week we play footy to win, and every time you get a win, you really do enjoy it.
They have killed two Giants in back-to-back weeks.
Welcome to Etihad Stadium as the Port Adelaide Football Club set their sights on this man and his team. James Hird, Jobe Watson. They know what it's all about to be under fire, under pressure. It has been every waking moment for the last 6 to 8 months of their existence. They've got the old players, they've got the young players, but this is a whole new team from Port Adelaide that run onto Etihad Stadium as Brad Johnson joins me in the commentary box. Brad, this has just been a revelation. Port Power, many thought, well, you know, 18th, 17th, 16th. Forget that. They're right up in the mix at the moment. They're in 7th place on the AFL ladder and they're hunting big game today.
They are. They've had an excellent couple of weeks beating the Sydney Swans and Collingwood. We saw that in the package. And the best thing about it, you notice the fact that players going hard at it, but the big crowd support behind them that got them over the line when they played at home. It's a big game here today away from home. This is where they need to stand up and show that same determination.
And there's plenty of belief, no doubt about that, as the Bombers come on to Etihad Stadium. A big game for them. It's always a big game for Essendon. They've got so much drama going on around them that it actually comes as a relief when the Bombers run onto the ground. And unlike last time when this man, Jobe Watson, was booed at Simmons over there at Subiaco, Patterson Stadium 29 times, today he'll have cheers ringing out every time he goes near the ball. 50,000 members for the first time for the Essendon Football Club. It's all going right except for one giant elephant in their room. But today they get the chance up against a really good side.
Yeah, they do. And the emotion of last week, a big win against the West Coast Eagles. They trained well according to their coach James Hird. As we have a look at their lineup, Ed, and Dustin Fletcher comes back into the lineup at fullback, so that's a big in for the Essendon Football Club. Watson in the middle of the ground. We've spoken about him a fair bit today. He leads from the front when it comes to the 2 hours on game day. Hurley starting in the forward line along with Carlisle according to that lineup. Because we look at Port Adelaide as well, Ed, and look, Carlisle is their major defender. Trengo's had a good year. Boak, Westhoff, Schultz. Their spine is starting to take shape, which is great. And the younger players, apart from Kane Corns, of course, who's had an outstanding year, really starting to get this side together and play some good, serious, hard football.
Yeah, we might even get Carlisle on Carlisle at some stage today, which would be fantastic. And as we said, we spoke to James Hird earlier this afternoon, and he told us that Hurley will be at full forward, Carlisle at centre-half forward, and Carlisle actually becoming in the last month a better forward than he has been a defender, and he was in all-Australian form earlier this season as that defender. It's going to be a great game. Let's go down at boundary side now. David King, Anthony Hudson and Danny Frawley. G'day, boys.
G'day, Ed, and welcome again, everyone. And Danny and King, some of the individuals the boys have touched on there, but Jobe Watson, we know what a massive week he's had. How does he, where do you reckon he'll do the most damage this afternoon, and how will Port counter him?
Well, stats speak for themselves, don't they? He averages 27 disposals, 7 clearances against Port. He'll just get the job done. He's resilient. We know what's happened over the last couple of weeks, but he's purely professional, King, in the way he goes about it.
Well, he's the clearance man, isn't he? He's the one who gets it done at the coalface. I think he's an absolute star. Hartlett's the one. I know you spoke before about him being their barometer. When he plays well, you can tell there by the champion data ranking points. When he's on, they're on.
He hasn't quite got back to the heights of the start of the year, but he's fighting through the tag, isn't he?
Yeah, but when they were losing around 6 to 8, he was only averaging the 10 disposals. He's getting through that. And, of course, the other one, King, I know that you're all over Justin Westhoff. What a start of the season he had. Again, a bit of a dip, but he's on his way back.
He's the coach's swing man. He puts fires out. If they need a loose man down back, he goes to Westhoff to solve those sorts of problems. And forward of centre, he's had a fantastic last 3 weeks, and 3 goals last week. The points don't show it there, but he was very influential in them getting the result that they needed.
Well, he was in the green there when they win and the red when they lose. So who are you actually tipping, boys?
Look, I'm going for the Bombers, purely on the home ground. They're 10-3, and they're just showing a lot of resilience, haven't they, the Bombers?
Have to win this one, the Bombers. I can't see them losing.
Well, one thing that might stop them is the pressure of Port Adelaide. I mean, it has been incredible. First of all against the Swans, and then they really bought it again last week when many people, and I must admit me included, thought they wouldn't be able to replicate it another week.
It's easy to sell a message like this when you're winning. I think Ken Hinkley's really, he's got a lot of tools to work with now, Danny, because as a ball hits you in the back of the head. You can just see that when you get reward on the scoreboard, it's easy to teach players new habits, where to run, how to run hard to help each other out. It's all working for them. This is fantastic. To gridlock Collingwood like this, if they can do that today, they go a long way to winning.
That's why the last 3 weeks when their wins, they've denied the opposition the ball, only averaging 62 points to the opposition. If they can do that today, they win. And that's why it's going to be a real arm wrestle in defensive stakes. And it gets back to that man there, Ken Hinkley. He's brought a lot of belief and a lot of steel to the team.
So can that man bring the pressure with him to Etihad Stadium, or can James Hird's men counter, led by the great Jobe Watson? We're going to take a break. We're going to get right into the action from Etihad Stadium in just a few moments.
Welcome back as we get set for a start between Essendon and Port Adelaide. Two top 8 teams at the moment. The toss of the coin. And you've got to love Travis Boak, the captain of Port Adelaide, Brad Johnson. The fact that he stayed, there was such a big push, particularly from Geelong, to get him across, and now reaping the reward. When he decided to stay at Port Adelaide, it looked like it was going to be a long haul to get back into the big time of football. Well, they've done it over a pre-season. It's been fantastic. Jobe Watson winning the toss and kicking to the right of screen to the Matthew Lloyd end here. But a great effort by Boak, isn't it?
Fantastic effort. First year as skipper. Cassisi was last year, did a great job as well, now playing his role for the club. But Boak, you can just see the standard he tries to set, and then the others just flow on, and that's a great sign of leadership.
Let's go down to David King, boundary side. Kingy.
Thanks, Ed. I just really want to have a close look today at Patrick Ryder. I think he's Essendon's most important player. When he plays well, they play well. His hit-out work this year has been fantastic. But when he's trusted as a sole ruckman, that lone ruckman, I think he does his best work. He's had 11, 8 and 8 hit-outs to advantage in the last 3 weeks. He's on fire. Only kicked the 6 goals for the year, but 3 in the last 2 weeks. Just prior to the bounce, just after the warm-up there, boys, we just saw Jake Carlisle doing some back stretches. I think he tweaked the back in the warm-up here, which is a real concern. He looks like he's pained. He's making his way to full forward now. We'll keep an eye on it.
Okay, well, that's interesting because going to full forward, James Hird said he started centre-half forward, so maybe just that little bit of inconvenience there on his back. See if he warms up. Sometimes you can get through these things. And Watson starting in the forward pocket as well for the Bombers. So we're away at Etihad Stadium. It's Essendon and Port Adelaide. Really looking forward to this one. The first bounce, up goes Paddy Ryder and really sets the tone. He gets it out of the centre, kicks up towards Hurley, who's playing a centre-half forward. Watson gets an early touch as well. Merritt tried to get his little kick on it as well. Off the ground, Port Adelaide go to the outer side. The race is on. Father Time gets a bad bounce on that occasion. It spills for Robbie Gray. Gray kicks it out wider still to Trengove. Gets the handball back to Gray, who slips out there. Out toward his captain in Boak, who's keen to get it over the line and does, as Bagley takes it to the boundary line for the Bombers, and we'll have a throw in the forward 50 for Port Adelaide.
And that's exactly what Robbie Gray needs to do, trying to track the footy. Yeah, Dustin Fletcher got a bad bounce on that occasion, but he needs to draw the footy, get in good positions, so Fletcher can't sift off and become that extra for the Essendon in their defence.
Corns was in early. Wingard, who signed this week an extended contract, which is fantastic news, to the end of 2016 for the Port Adelaide side. And what a revelation he's been this year in his blossoming football career, even at this early stage. So another throw in.
Don't block.
And that's Watson playing at full forward, but right in the centre of the ground as they press up. Out of the pack. Kick at goals, one behind. First score of the game going to Port Adelaide.
Fletcher brings it back into play with a bit of patience. Goddard eventually settles on Heppel, and Hartlett remained non-committal. And still he's just trying to corral him a little and putting some uncertainty into the mind. That handball came with some instructions, which was to move it. So the press working reasonably effectively for Port Adelaide, despite the fact that, though, Essendon have been able to maintain it with Dempsey and now Windlick. Kicked 3 goals last week. Comma had a role in 2 or 3 of their important shots at goal. And got to be impressed with that Kingy at this early stage down there. I know you're close and having a look at the way they're structured up.
Well, they're on here. You can see Port Adelaide have really turned up with their heat early, but the Bombers are going to take them on. Looks like they're going to try and handball through them off half-back. Should be some fun.
Yeah, a lot of handball to Comma. It was okay, but he ran into traffic when he called for it, so it's all right to call for quick hands, but he ran straight into a brick wall. So Carlisle was nearly on one-on-one, Jake Carlisle, forward of the ball.
So ball up on centre wing.
See, Westhoff has dropped off as well. and he's the +1 for Port Adelaide.
So the Bombers get the break again. Ordinary kick coming out on that occasion from Hibberd. Commer's caught and held up. And didn't do enough, so Ebert does well. Bomber fans not happy with that. But Ebert having a wonderful season, Brad Ebert.
Yeah, the last 3 matches, Ed, he's averaged 29 disposals, 7 inside 50s and 5 tackles.
They're pretty good stats. He's going to get another one now. As Port Adelaide try to just hold the ball up and run through. They don't want to overcommit at this early stage. And Ebert racks up his 3rd disposal in about 10 seconds. The kick went in. Dempsey didn't quite hold what he should have taken on that occasion. Get his hands to the ball. The handball comes out. Another intercept. Here's a chance now as Wines goes over the top. But again another intercept. And it's hooker for the Bombers. But they're going nowhere. Another great tackle. Broadbent has been a revelation across halfback for Port Adelaide in recent weeks. And they hold it in their forward 50.
Pressure's right on. Fantastic from Port Adelaide. We see here great tackle from Broadbent. Had a chance to kick though when they handball.
Lobey to Wines, and this one is across the face as well. It's all being played on their terms at the moment, Port Adelaide, or largely anyway, Jono.
Well, it's a lot better the fact they're winning some clearances. That's where Essendon have dominated a fair bit throughout the home and away season in that stoppage situation. Port Adelaide haven't ranked so well, especially with the young ruckman they've got in, so that's important. They're getting some scores from stoppages at the moment.
Now, interesting, Westhoff's left Watson, and if they get it in there quickly, Watson is free, and he comes in, takes it, and Bellchambers belts his way back to the square, and he should mark, and the rest is history.
Beautifully called, Hutto. You picked it up beautifully. Beautifully picked up there, Hutto. You picked it up. Joe Watson there was on his own. It was really good ball movement. And what about the run from Bellchambers? You have a look here through the middle of the ground. That's what the Bombers like to do, John. They like to hit up the target. And when you hit that up, all the defence have to run. Look at the vision there from Watson. Straight over the top to Bellchambers. Did not have to break stride. That is a magnificent goal.
Excellent goal from the Bombers. You can see here Watson there all on his own was able to do some of his work. When he gets the ball in his hands, it always hits the target.
So big Tom Bellchambers gets the first goal. Who would have thought he'd be the running player running to the goal square?
That's modern footy for you, isn't it?
He made up some ground though, didn't he? Once he saw that goal and there was a sniff, like all good ruckman, he wanted to be part of the action. Again, Port Adelaide get the ball out of the centre. Schultz searching. Trengove there as well. Bombers run it out. Comes out to Hibberd. Hibberd up the line. Overrunning the ball on that occasion was Logan. Back in again. Goddard, good pressure. Hibberd again gets the handball out. Dempsey searching for it. He's in a bit of trouble here. Beautifully tackled up. Hartlett Gray got him and should get a free kick and does.
Yeah, there was no attempt there. Just a bit of fumbly there, Dempsey early. He dropped a mark about 2 minutes ago. Really good tackle there.
So Robbie Gray pumps it long to the goal square. Plenty of high flyers there. Off hands. Monfries against his old side trying to get it out. It comes out to Fletcher who just bangs it on the boot and hopes for the best.
Going to hit the roof.
And Tommy Logan flies high. Can't take it now. Dempsey with a little more certainty, but in the end too there was some doubt on that bit of possession, so he's finding the going tough there. Such is the pressure, and it's showing it again with Ryder and also with Watson, and they deserve a score here, Port. They don't get it. Battered away by Fletcher and now taken to the line by Dempsey.
A lot of pressure there from Port. You can just see why Port Adelaide, the improvement here, the forward pressure they've put on the Essendon defence nice and early in this game.
Ryder tricked himself, then nobody else. Gray was able to get the handball through. Boken, Ollie Wines, you'd think he was 26. What a star. But he misses.
Oh, touched off the boot. But it was from a stoppage against Bud, and that's important. They've had 3 scoring shots and all points, but all from stoppages.
And here go the Bombers again. They have got numbers up ahead of them too. Plenty of them. Little chip kick forward. Hurley came out to meet the ball. Westhoff did really well there. He had 2 players and had to really pick the moment when to go, and he did it beautifully. Off hands, Trengove lines them up and kicks the goal. That is great intercept rebound football, and Westhoff.
We can see the Bombers are trying to play through the middle of the ground, but they bit off too much then. And the missed tackle, you can just see here, they've tried to chew it up. I think it was met from Winderlick. Hurley's coming in from the right of screen, but have a look at the counter-attack here. Now, the missed tackle here from Cale Hooker. Just had to go a little bit harder at the body of the ball there. Missed both. and paid the ultimate price there. But terrific start. Time in the forward half at the moment is 75% Port, 25% Essendon.
A lot to admire about the way Port Adelaide have gone about things so far. Early days at Etihad Stadium. Jackson Trengo back in the side last week after a big spell with the injury.
Carl Hooker's had a great year this year, but he wouldn't be too happy with that missed tackle.
Lobie creating plenty of forward movement too for Port Adelaide. As ends with Pittard. Got some high contact. Not paid. The umpire said he ducked. Interesting decision. Boak wasn't tackled and gets the reward for bouncing quickly to his feet. Into Wingard. Hasn't missed that too often. Schultz trying to thrust it out anywhere. Wingard, just sleight of hand, but he may have fooled his teammate who wasn't quite ready for it. And Hooker took it from Stanton, and now Hibberd. Fletcher just need to settle things a little, the Bombers, and it's Goddard who's able to deliver.
Have to slow things down now. Myers is going to get things going. They just need to take the pace out of this game a little bit, the Bombers.
Yeah, well, it's no surprise the forward leading position getters
Let's have a
here.
look at this Pittard free kick. Now, he might have ducked, but he also got his head knocked off.
No, he didn't duck anything, did it?
Nothing. That is the most obvious too high you've ever seen.
Yep.
A couple of your blokes, Hutto, would have got 4 free kicks for that. Then there at Geelong.
Don't start, Ed.
It's no surprising. The four leading position getters for Essendon: Pears, Hooker, Hibberd and Dempsey, all defenders for the Bombers. Four disposals each.
Danny, I think there's no problem with handballing out of the back half, but you've got to put some speed in your handball. They can't be loopy handballs. It's giving Port time to put pressure on.
Well, let's see if the Bombers can settle. How
This is better.
Well, this is the problem Port have. If they can get it into the space, there's plenty to work with. Windle, it goes short to a one-on-one, which was interesting. Didn't really use the space he had, but the great run-down tackle has to be rewarded.
Oh, got him in the back, he says. They've been red hot on this one over this weekend. This is obviously free kick of the week.
I thought it was a great tackle from Merritt.
I thought he did well. So Honks gets away with it. Logan up towards the wing position. Moore winds again. He's been very, very busy. All right, that's a free kick. Should have been a free kick. That one lets through, but the advantage possibly paid as Ebert again has been great and he gets the kick to Schultz. So Schultz off a step, thumps it long. This is tailor-made for that man Fletcher. Went over the back. Monfries was waiting with intent. Comes out back to Heppel. Heppel in a bit of trouble, and it's as intentional as you'll ever get.
He's paid.
Right, that was as intentional as you'll ever get, but
Wasn't he under pressure though?
Yeah, he was, but he had an opportunity to get somewhere else.
He had an opportunity, and that should be the rule.
No, it should be the rule, but you can back chat as much as you like, Ed, but now the kick is straight in front and set on a severe angle.
Well, have a good look at the moment. Monfries against his old team puts it through. Let's have a look at this one, guys, because he had prior opportunity, didn't he?
Well, I think that's what it comes down to, where the umpire's made his call on the back of having an opportunity to release the ball there.
Yeah.
He's
went
under
to ground
pressure.
here.
He's still under pressure.
Then becomes under pressure. So
he was still under pressure the
from
whole
the start.
time.
Okay,
but he put himself under pressure. He had an outlet. He had the opportunity, could have kicked it either foot and could have run out. So that is intentional. I know Hurdy's not happy about it.
I didn't like it. I thought he was under pressure. I know he had prior opportunity, but
You can't run backwards, though.
yeah, I know. But
You can run
he had a
backwards.
hand. He had a hand on him.
You're under
though, Ed.
pressure
Yeah, but
anyway.
you run yourself into pressure. It's a good debating point. What's the vote up here? Jono, what do you reckon?
I thought it was deliberate.
Yeah, okay, 2-2.
What do you think, Kingy?
Deliberate for me.
There you go. There's the casting vote.
Fair enough.
It doesn't matter because the casting vote was given by the umpire and suddenly Port Adelaide are 9 points in front.
Yeah, well, I'm an ex-defender, so don't count my vote.
Essendon have to do something about it. They'll know that now. The urgency's got to be there for the Bombers. Zaharakis tried to pinpoint off the left and all he hit was the chest of Travis Boak.
Yeah, 50% by foot, the Bombers. Good pressure from Port early.
Used Ebert to get it again. Boken out to Westhoff. There's a push though. Bomber fans wanting 50. They don't get it. You heard the explanation there, Bagguley. The switch going. And Hibbert needed the time to just to settle and spread a little bit. Melksham takes it, looks, didn't like Stanton, who was working, he did in the end, he went for him. Corns with him every step of the way, but Stanton good enough, and the pass was good enough. Pretty congested forward 50. Hurley demanded it.
Beautiful lead.
He's in a very tight spot here, though, and realises that. Looking for some tall timber. Bell Chambers! There's a bit of a message to everyone saying, well, maybe he's expendable. What a mark.
That is a magnificent mark. He's already got one on the board. His confidence is sky high now because what a great kick from Hurley too, though. He knew. He looked up and saw the tall timber of Carlisle and Bell Chambers give the tall forwards an opportunity.
And the Bombers need this one. It's only early. Port's lead is just 9, but a settler for Essendon. Bell Chambers has 2.
Essendon settled back into this game now, only 3 points behind Port Adelaide, but that was an excellent mark from Bell Chambers. I like the way he jumped early, Spud. Up he went early, got a big lead, bit of hang time, and an excellent contested mark. So that's the spark that Essendon needed, and you're right, Hurley picked it up early, and that's what was important with that kick going forward. If he holds on for it too long, then Port Adelaide can get extra numbers back to maybe try and spoil that. The fact that he was at a one-on-one jump at it, great effort from Bell Chambers.
So big Tommy Bell Chambers has kicked the 2 goals for the Bombers. A screamer and a hard-running attempt. There you go. You wouldn't have them in your first 2 goals for the Bombers, would you? And a great performance. Now the Bombers can reload from half-back again. And it comes out to Watson. No boos this week, just cheers from his beloved Essendon crowd.
Is Carlisle playing forward now for the Bombers. Beautiful lead.
As Kingy picked up in a warm-up, looked like he'd just tweaked his back a little bit. Seems to be moving quite freely now. The other Carlisle is in trouble there. It spills out the back to Zaharakis, who has a flying shot and is offline for a behind.
Danny, this is really hard work for Essendon coming forward of centre at the moment. Port Adelaide's work rate to get back and clog that defensive 50 is absolutely first class. I haven't seen them work this hard this season. They are absolutely putting it to them defensively.
No, you're right. The last 3 weeks in particular, Kingy, the opposition are only getting the ball in 41 times the last 3 games, so they're denying the opposition some clean ball going forward.
Talked about the confidence of Matthew Broadbent. Beautiful kick in. Fresh from his best on-ground performance last week. Found Wines, going to land this one up on the wing. Andrew Moore, good shove just at the right time. Freed up Hartlett to bolt and kick quickly. Monfrey spots it, but Pear's got a hand to it. Monfrey's in good position, shared with Hartlett. Had to see off Dempsey.
Great tackle.
Fearsome stuff.
Yeah, perfect tackle there from Dempsey.
Just got themselves into a little bit of a pickle here, though. Heppel off the left. The game was a bit tough there. Screwed it back to the wing. Carlisle, that's Port's Carlisle. Got the fist in it. Away from Ebert. Watson quickly summed it up. Winterlick, he was running before he got the ball. The legs were pumping. Was able to get it moving. And charging through. Brilliant stuff, the Bombers. And now Heppel has to finish it. Tried to thread the needle with Stanton. It was Comma to Melksham. And again, they're sharing pretty well. He's on the end of it again.
Look at Tommy. I watched his lead nice and early, Jono. Yep. He's a natural forward.
Well, he picked it up on the handball, didn't he, Spud? The handball went to Melksham. He was moving as the handball was about to be affected.
And you can see that Essendon are playing on at all costs. So as a forward, you've got to be on your toes ready to go, and Bell Chambers is.
So a running goal back to the square, a screamer, now a mark on the lead. Tom Bell Chambers. You can't be a ruckman and do that, can you? He has!
Poor old Tommy Bell Chambers has been played out of position all his career.
Well, everyone's expecting Jake Carlisle. You know, he's been outstanding in the defence. He's gone forward to him to dominate. And it's probably the Carlisle factor a little bit. And you can see the instant play on as you talk, Jono. At the moment, Bell Chambers is deep in the goal square, just biding his time. That quick handball, and he's on the way. He's on the lead now and honouring the lead at every opportunity. The Bombers, this is a magnificent start from Tommy.
So the Bombers back in front by 4 points. We've played just under 17 minutes in this opening term, and Tom Bell Chambers, well, he may as well have a go in the ruck as well. He's dominating up forward. He's kicked the 3 goals for Essendon, and it's been the perfect trifecta. And what about the spring in his leap there? He jumped over the top. Watson was unceremoniously cleaned up by Westhoff, which was good play by the Port Adelaide player. Ran straight at the ball off the line. Off the back of the pack. Good play again by Essendon. Pears gets it going to Heppel. Heppel out to Howlett. Howlett's kick up forward. Hurley gets a bad bounce. Under pressure. Honch takes it to the boundary line.
Yeah.
And that is
great decision.
Yep. Oh, they're going to be red hot on it. Good.
No, great decision. He only had one thing in mind. And
Hurley decided, I'll square up and just give you another chance. Let's have a look at this one again. Intentional. He looks. He's clear, and he steps over, and you're gone.
Yeah, he should have just waited for the tackle, then went over. He'll learn from that. Yep. He can still disguise it, but he was just a bit too obvious then.
Westhoff, like the look of O'Shea on the way out. He's had an outstanding season.
He's been very good, Hutto.
Played every game. And they've been able to move it through. Kane Corns, career best 28 disposals per game. Jakey Need, he sprayed that one. Bradley Hibbert's already up to 7 disposals. Ollie Wines 6. Robbie Gray with 5. And for Essendon, 7 to Pears and 6 to Heppel.
They've just taken Joe Watson downstairs to be assessed. The Docs just whipped him into the bunker. I'll keep my eye on that one, but that could be a big story looming. He looked quite sore, quite ginger in the shoulder area.
We'll have a look at it, Denny. We'll get it up at the first break we can because he was cleaned up by Westhoff.
Yeah, the doctors were pointing at the shoulder, Kingy. He's all over it down there, ground level.
So the Bombers trying to put the squeeze on Port here. Bit of boot on the other foot. Wingard. Time was up. Stanton shakes the head because he just allowed.
It was too easy in some ways. Gray nearly walked into that situation right there.
You've got to make every kick count, don't you, in this circumstance?
You have to.
They've spread well here, Port.
They have.
We've got to make the ground wide in this situation as well. Try and get that easier kick to pull the trigger on, not on that occasion.
Hurley working back very hard, and O'Shea decides to keep it in, but now he might have created a problem for himself, which just got a little bit worse, and Hartlett takes it over.
Let's have a look at Joe Watson being cleaned up here. So comes out, sits up.
Oh, yes.
Just got him with a good hip and shoulder.
The thing about it, Ed, he wasn't ready for it,
and
he wasn't tense. And as you know, Jono, when you get a hit like that, unsuspecting, they do take a little bit to get over.
That was a real rib tickler, that one, wasn't it? So
point of the left shoulder.
Heppel goes in hard for the Bombers. It's not coming out easily, and Port will be very happy with that. They've got another.
There's a bit of movement down here with the substitute. I think Job's in a bit of trouble. I think that he might be substituted from the game. Collier's warming up, and I think they're going to inject him in very shortly, boys.
All right, we'll have another look at Joe Watson. We've got a couple of other angles just to have a good look at that in a few moments' time.
Well, Trainer just ran a tracksuit top down that race as well, so...
I wonder, is it the concussion rule?
Not sure if Kingy's terminology is quite appropriate today. I don't think the Bombers will be...
Yeah, but it could be the concussion rule, Ed, where you get 20 minutes off to assess with concussion.
We'll see what happens. Kingy will keep us informed. In the meantime, Ebert again bangs it long, inside 50, but Dempsey's got across. And he fumbled it, but he just didn't quite cross the line, so holds on there. So Colin Hooper there, the veteran Bomber trainer on the boundary line, looking after the interchange. The sub-vest is off, so there's some real issues there for Joe Watson. That is a big story. We don't think there was anything untoward in it, do we, Danny?
No, nothing at all, Ed.
Hang on,
downfield there it's going to Winderling off the ball against Tom Jonas. Well picked up from the umpire. Retarding his lead there.
Kingy, just let us know as soon as you find anything, mate.
He's just come back up. Joe Watson's just come back up, boys. He's got his arm in a sling. I think there's trouble here. It's not a concussion. This is, I think it's a left shoulder injury.
He looks very despondent on the boundary line there, Joe Watson.
There was a block, I believe, off play, and it was turned around, the free kick, and that's why it's Port going forward. Wines to Schiltz. Monfries makes his move. Westhoff was long. Monfries went to ground. Essendon fans will be pleased with that. Hibbert hits his man on the wing. And the man is Winderlich, who spears it back into the middle of the ground. Stanton. And the switch is affected. Baguil will keep it moving. Here's Bellchambers as they dart from side to side. Oh, look at that for a handball all the way back into Stanton. And then wide again. They've been hemmed nicely by Port. So Myers with a tough job to get it, some sort of piercing kick going through the middle. Howlett summed it up beautifully.
Carlisle for
and he spotted another Essendon jumper into 50, but it was all a bit lackadaisical for the Bombers. And there's Hartlett reading it well.
And there's the ice pack on the shoulder of Joe Watson. Next break in play will show the other angles, and it is a huge story for one of the Brownlow medal favourites and the champion of the Bombers, who's been so much in the news in recent times for all sorts of reasons. Let's have a quick look as the ball goes over line out of bounds. So it comes out, Westhoff comes in, just a big hip and shoulder within 5 metres of the ball. Nothing wrong with that at all. The only thing, as Danny Frawley picked up, was that Jobe Watson had no peripheral vision for it coming and wasn't prepared.
No, he had eyes on the ball, and that's when you can get injured, when you're not tense. You don't tense your body, and you're not ready for
disastrous kick. It was designed for Bagley. It came from Bagley, I should say, but Wingard has taken the mark.
He's sharp, isn't he, Wingard? Jono, you know, to be in position there, to know that if the kick was going over, he read it off the boot so quickly and got in position.
Well, he's had an excellent year, second year of footy, 19 years of age, 33 games now, 33 goals on the board. Just signed a new deal as well to see him at Port Adelaide till the end of 2016.
Kicked 2 last week, 3 the week before, and he's popped that one through as well, and Porter back in front. And the Bomber fans are stunned. Stunned mostly because Jobe Watson's off, and
exactly why.
Serious, but also the performance of Port Adelaide so far. It's forcing some errors.
Well, it caused a little bit of chaos there with Jobe Watson going off, but that's just a skill error that shouldn't occur at AFL level. It does at times, but you've got to get back, Spud. You've got to get better than kicking that one-step kick all the time, because this is exactly what happens if you turn it over. It normally goes straight back over your head.
Fifth change of lead in this game already, but that's the headline story. Jobe Watson cleaned up in a fair hip and shoulder with Justin Westhoff and immediately off the ground. That was the key point. Usually you hang around, don't you, Daddy?
He knew straight away, and he's as tough as they come, Ed. He would have known.
So the ice being applied. We'll go down to David King in a few moments' time. In the meantime, Heppel's got the ball for the Bombers. They've got more things to worry about at the moment. It's the long kick forward. Up they go again over the head of the pack. At the back is Trengove. Handball's out wide. And Port Adelaide run it out. Broadbent, who's been one of their best players this year as far as getting it outside their 50, but it's coming back in again. And the mark has been taken by Collier, who was the sub.
Yeah, he's been straight into the game. It's going to put enormous pressure on Goddard and Stanton now, Jono, with Jobe Watson, the skipper, the leader, out of the midfield. And there's Brendan Goddard there. They need really good games from those two boys in particular.
Goddard may have to spend more time in the middle of the ground now and stand up as a leader of this footy team.
So Travis Collier, who's been the sub 3 times this year, gets the early start for the Bombers. He's kicked 7-9 in the VFL this season and adds a behind in the big time.
So Port's lead dwindles back to 1. Carlisle going through the options, decides that Kane Corns is the best of them on offer. And they're moving again, Port. O'Shea.
It's amazing Kane Corns. He's their number 1 tagger, yet he leads the competition in uncontested possession. You just see why there. He finds space better than most.
And gives them an option on the way out. Lobe was the big target. Well done, Ryder. Some heavy lifting from him needed because Port were able to control the footy until that error from Andrew Moore, who also seems to have found himself as a spot more regular in this Port Adelaide side.
Very good last week, Hutto. Had the job, the run-with job on Pendlebury, and did a pretty good job. Today he's a bit more freewheeling, not really manning up. And anyway, he's got Heppel at the moment. Thought he may have gone to Watson at times, so he'll still have some big matchups throughout the day.
Dempsey able to work it short to Carlisle. And now Zaharakis had Hurley in mind. You can see the body pressure was good, but Corns on the spot again. Handball back to Broadbent, bit of a fumble. Most of the fumbling has been done by Essendon, you have to say, so far.
This is where they need to clear it a lot better. Get it out of this position of the ground more effectively. They get it here, they're either bombing it long, too much pressure with that kick, Spud.
Yeah, I like the way the Bombers are playing on, but not all the time. At some stage, just hold, and they're just pulling the trigger that quick. They're not set, and just turning that ball over just now and again. So I like the fact they're playing on at all costs, but then at some stage forward to the centre, just assess the situation.
Good work from Hibbert then. It's Port Adelaide 3-3-21, Essendon 3-2-20. Last 90 seconds of the opening term from Etihad.
And here we go. So big 90 seconds coming up, and a squeeze kick came out there from Knee. Good play. Now Boak just chips it in. It's a good kick and a good mark. Well played. And that is a mark by Gray. Shouldn't be 50. That was...
He actually slowed down.
Let's just listen in here.
Yeah, David Myers actually slowed.
I don't think the Essendon boys are going to be too worried about Angus Monfries going into muscle because they're all mates.
But you'd hate him to give away. He's come in here. You'd hate him to give away a free kick.
Exactly right, John.
Right in this spot. Deal with it after the goal is kicked.
All that can happen, Jono, 100% correct.
They've got a 50-metre here.
It is 50, yeah.
So he was warned about reversing the 50. Let's just have a look. I thought it was close to simultaneously. A little bit late. He got him high.
And look, he did slow down.
Yeah, he could have, in the old days, he could have put him into next week.
It was 50. We'll wear that.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Just, but it was there. And a goal gives Port Adelaide a 7-point lead.
Robbie Gray's inclusion coming back from injury, Spud, has been very, very good, and he's started to get into that rhythm again of playing good senior AFL footy, and he's capitalised the last couple of weeks and started very well today as well. 8 possessions already and now a goal
it's interesting,
on the board.
He hasn't been kicking goals though this year, which was his special. He's been
getting plenty of ball though.
Getting more
it's
of
about touch. Yep.
Positive stat there for Port, 36 contested possessions to 28. That is a huge win against the Bombers.
And this quarter's had the lot, hasn't it?
Yep.
A ruckman kicking 3 goals, Port Adelaide with the pressure, and as we mentioned, the main headline, apart from the fact that Port are playing so well and lead by 7 points as the underdog, here's the injury and a serious one to Joe Watson. The fumbling of the Bombers continue, and it's a serious worry for them at this stage, and a real bouquet to Port Adelaide, forced to throw.
Yeah, well, I think David Myers is still worrying about that free kick. Just forget about that and move on.
Hartler, that's the sort of stuff that Fletcher normally gobbles up. Oh, Shields did everything but take the mark, and there's one that the Bombers have dodged. Oh, Fletcher. They are making some terrible mistakes, and again, we've got to get that. Could have been holding the man easily.
Free kick.
Got to give a lot of the credit for the Essendon mistakes to Port Adelaide. Again, each disposal, if not real pressure, then certainly perceived. Hooker on that very last of lines, kicks it long, and needed some help from up ahead.
Oh, Tommy's everywhere. Tom Bell-Chambers.
He's putting together a show reel today, Tommy Bell-Chambers. Until then.
Just a little edit there, Eddie. We'll probably include that little part.
Just leave it on the mark, I think.
Went to more, and then it should come back again. Essendon should be able to contain the damage here. Fletcher better be careful. Through comes Ebert with a second to go in the quarter. The Sirens going to beat the effort of Hartlett, which went out on the full anyway.
Terrific game of football, John. Magnificent. Contested ball there. The half-forwards and Wingard and Gray getting an impact. There's Joe Watson there, unfortunately out for the rest of the game, Hutto.
And Dr. Bruce Reid having a good look at Jobe Watson there, all iced up on the shoulder. So a terrible sight for Essendon fans. Their captain is off and out for the rest of the game. How long that injury will take him out of football, we'll find out as the soonest possible opportunity. In the meantime, it's Port Adelaide away from home who lead Essendon by 7 points at quarter time. Welcome back to the story of the day. The reigning Brownlow medalist, the captain of Essendon, Jobe Watson, their spiritual leader in a time when they need leadership more than any time in their fabled history, has cleaned up by Justin Westhoff on the boundary, subbed out, ice on the shoulder, and playing no further part in this game. This is a huge story here at Etihad Stadium. So too is the scoreboard, as Port Adelaide 4-3-27, the upstart in 2013, reigning at the moment marginally, but playing great football against Essendon 3-2-20. We'll go down to David King in a moment. He'll be speaking to Ken Hinkley, the coach of Port Adelaide. But boys, this is the headline story, no doubt about it. There's James Hird speaking to Jobe Watson, pointing to the shoulder. Was it a subluxation? Did it pop out? We'll get the full details. Certainly what we don't want to see there, though, is that it's a broken collarbone or any sort of break in the shoulder itself.
They're having a laugh about it. Something's funny.
AC joint, grade 1 or 2. You probably missed 4 or 5, but yeah, it didn't look like a subluxation.
It looked like he just got him right on the point. Right on the point.
Which normally is an AC joint, so a bit of a smile there. He didn't seem to be in extreme pain if you're out, but he is cradling the arm, so that is the story. But thank God Tom Bell-Chambers there for Essendon at the moment. We talk about the game in itself there. You can see Bomber Thompson.
Guys, let me jump in because David King is down with Ken Hinkley, the coach of Port Adelaide.
Ken, a fast start, a good start for your boys, but you're a bit agitated at quarter time there.
Yeah, I just didn't like some of the stuff we were giving away, some easy ball to Essendon, and they're a corridor football side and they're going to go there, so we've just got to be really careful of that.
Your pressure's been good?
Yeah, look, it's been okay. I'd like it to be better.
You're always looking for more, aren't you? Good luck in the next quarter.
Thanks, mate.
Great to have Ken Hinkley speaking there, and you can just see this is no fluke for Port Adelaide. They know how to play, they know what they want their team to do, and they've been great at executing it so far.
Well, they've won the contested ball, and that's what he'd be really pleased with, and a few of the defensive efforts there, and that's like any coach, you want to be better, but they led really well today. Ollie Wines again, he started extremely well, Jono, with the 8 disposals, Tringove with 8. Schultz, Kane Corns again doing a really good job defensively, but the thing about Kane Corns, he plays on Zaharakis, and then when Port get the ball, Zaharakis puts no time into Kane Corns.
And that's where he's just able to run free, and that's how he gets those uncontested possessions he's so good at.
Second quarter then gets underway. Intriguing opening one. Let's see what's to come in the next 25 to 30 minutes. Heppel did a couple of revolutions and eventually got Essendon going, but not for long, or maybe it is. Carlisle, important intercept, back to Heppel again, hair flowing everywhere. Handball through Melksham, and now they're clear. Ryder, dabbed the pass, Winderlick. Fresh from 3 last week, will line them up here.
He's been a spark for them, Winderlick, since coming back into the side, and we know the issues he's had over the last couple of years, Jason Winderlick, but he's got that speed, he's got that spark back in his game.
Played his first game of the year in round 4 and has only missed 1 since. Twice this year has kicked 3 goals. And needs one here for Essendon, who trailed by 7. Goal umpire didn't have to move too far. It's a goal. Thumbs up.
Jono, the thing I love about Essendon, they pull the trigger quickly, and out of their kicks at the moment, they've had the 64 kicks, 3/4 of them are short. And as you know, if they're short kicks, the Port defence have to switch onto that and guard the dangerous space in front, because you can see this kick here from Paddy Ryder. His eyes were lowered, pulls the trigger, and then, like any defender, you need to play the odds. And the odds at the moment, Essendon are going short, so you need to guard that dangerous space, and that's really good play also from the Bombers.
If they get that releasing handball as well, Ed, that's the important one. If Port Adelaide can close the release handball, then they can't effectively go short inside forward 50.
So Winderlick inside the first minute of the second term gets the Bombers back to within a point. Just what the doctor ordered, because Dr. Bruce Reid is busy on the boundary line with the captain, Jobe Watson, at the moment. 2 names that have been in a lot of conversation in the last 13 days, of course. Goddard with a big torpedo out of the centre. Lucky bounce there, punched away, but the race is on. Chance for Hurley. He's got first dibs at the ball. Waits, stretches, reaches, gets the ball out, does it pretty well. Good handball by Winderlick inside there. Couldn't quite get at it. Westhoff, who is the smiling assassin in the Jobe Watson bump. Nothing untoward in it. It's just a good hip and shoulder. His kick has been turned over and the Bombers will reload again.
They're just a bit off though, aren't they? Essendon, Hurley's kick. Eventually they work their way back towards half forward, and the mark taken by Comma.
Got 12 Chambers deep, 1-on-1.
Well, it was, of course, they got it to pairs before Hurley's down in the forward line and back to Mark.
Beautiful kick. It was probably meant for Tommy Bell Chambers. Cut up the side of his boot, but great body use from Hurley.
But you speak about that short kick, and Winderlick came through hard, which Westhoff then, as the spare, had to come up towards him. Ball went over the top, 1-on-1 to such a good mark in the competition.
And that's what you get. You continually hit that short one, you'll get your 1-on-ones, because you've actually got to go with that guy that's moving.
Well, a lot of Bomber fans think he's best placed in defence. They're trying to find out if he can be a forward. 7 goals in the first month, only 3 since, but puts that one through. Just what they needed. They're back in front, Essendon.
Well, they started this second quarter very well. The Essendon Footy Club using the ball effectively. Heppel's got his hands on it in the middle of the ground. Goddard's been involved as well. But this is the kick here, long to 1-on-1. This is the way Hurley likes it. His defenders had to turn, do circles, lost contact with him, and he was going to mark that one every single day of the week. Excellent work from Hurley to put himself in the right spot, and an excellent kick to his advantage.
Homsch will love that time again. You can never take your eyes off the ball with a high ball when you're playing defence. Have a look at the matchup down here. We've got Dustin Fletcher, 198 centimetres on Chad Wingard, 181.
Player in his second year, a player in his 20th year.
Exactly right.
One's 19, one's 38.
Double his age, can you believe that?
Nearly his height.
Would that have happened too often in AFL?
He wouldn't have
playing on
so.
a bloke literally half your age. And there he is. What a great player he has been, and he will be, by the looks of things. So out of the centre, Wines was slung to the ground. Possibly should have got a free kick. There's been a few of those these weekends that the umpires have let go. Comma with the flowing hair.
There's one last night in Adelaide. Bernie Vince ended his night.
Yeah. There's a couple. There was one on Friday night, a couple on Saturday night in the Hawthorn game as well. So something to look at. Now the Bombers just a little bit off, as Anthony Hudson's been saying in his commentary. Goes back now to Fletcher, who just toe pokes forward. Just the 15, but it's enough. Bombers can't quite get out yet. They go to the outer side, so the switch is on.
The players in the middle, if they can find them.
Bagley's kick is a good one. Zaharakis, they need some run from him. But again, Port Adelaide get the numbers back. Danny, well, 50 metres. It's against Corns, I think, for running through.
Yeah, it's more, I think.
More ran through, which we say this every week, but has to be one of the rules that gets thrown out as soon as possible.
So he's looking at Bagley, looking.
Yeah, there's nothing on there. Didn't interfere with play. Oh, it's a horrible one, that one.
Yeah, it is.
So plenty of instructions going on from the umpire.
Well, he doesn't have to turn around and face the ball. He can stand on his head if he likes.
It's been a good 5 minutes for the Bombers. That's 3.
No, I don't like it. You can see Ken Hinkley, I know how he feels there. He's feeling very bemused, to say the least. And Andrew Moore, all he was doing was running past, and he was still on the way back. And you just have a look at the replay here.
Well, he's got his eyes on Bagley. Bagley cuts the angle.
Yeah. If Bagley keeps running, Bagley ran the other way, so he was with his direct opponent there. And I know the rule's 5 metres away from the mark, but
it's rubbish, isn't it? Really?
The penalty's far too severe.
Only just got there.
Well, that's the challenge. The challenge now is for Port Adelaide, because 4 inside 50s to none so far. 3 goals from the bottoms. The Port need to try and get control back.
And it's a contested ball too, Jono. 9-3, the Bombers' favour. Port won that in the first quarter, and there's no doubt the Essendon coaching staff would have alluded them to that, and they've really got to work in the contested stakes.
So the Bombers get the first 3 goals in 5.5 minutes in this second term to lead by 11 points. A 7-point lead to Port Adelaide at quarter time, and you think of Schultz's mark in the goal square that he just didn't quite hold, would have put them 13 points up and given a nice little buffer, but suddenly the Bombers got all the ball and Port Adelaide just can't get their hands on it at all at the moment.
Well, they can't. It's 7 disposals to 28. The Bombers' favour at the moment.
No advantage on that one.
They've had 2 kicks, Port, both ineffective at the start of the second quarter.
Okay, well, there's their first one that is effective. Wingard's got it, and he decides to go long with a thumping kick, but there's no one in position down there.
Well, that should have been Jay Schultz or the ruckman. The long kick has got to go to your tools.
Well, this long kick goes to Goddard. You can see the Essendon defenders running hard out to try and give some extra options. Goddard committed to the left side, got a little bit of a headbutt as he released it. A gentle one, if you can give a gentle headbutt. And now Zaharakis working the angle well. It goes to full forward. They're dangerous here. Bellchambers went to ground. You heard the crash around Australia as the ball came down to Wingard. Floats the handball, Broadbent, and they just get out with Ebert.
Just saw that forward entry there, Jono, and Tommy started well, but I think Jake Carlisle, it was actually his ball, and Bellchambers needs to isolate and separate, because they're 2 tall boys. And
after 3 goals, he thinks he's John Coleman. Tom Coleman.
It's my ball.
All right, Hompsch. I just love saying his name as he kicks it out to the wing.
Let's have a look at this long entry here, and any defence will love players. You can just see Bellchambers and Carlisle here. So they've just got to isolate and separate.
He's doing the right thing there, Bellchambers. He was putting up the screen, wasn't he?
Exactly, coming back to block, but then he needs to keep moving from that block. It's like the basketball team, block and go.
Exactly right.
They're on the fly again, and a lovely pass. Here he is.
Well, that's better, because Carlisle's deep in the goal square. So 2 options then, the ball carrier, go long to a one-on-one, or hit the target up in Bellchambers. Great forward craft.
So Bellchambers looking for his 4th goal. It's not like he hasn't kicked a goal before. I mean, this year he's kicked 14 goals, 5 in 11 matches, which is a good return.
And you wonder, Hutto, whether Carlisle's, we thought he might have had a little bit of a back injury before the game, has just changed the roles up a little bit up forward for the Bombers, and Bellchambers is the runner.
Here's Bellchambers. That one's not going to please his legion of fans behind the goals. He's missed to the right. And they creep up now to a 12-point lead.
Kingy, down at ground level, what are the things Port Adelaide you think need to do at this stage to get control back into this game?
Oh, they've got problems in their defensive 50. They've allowed the Bombers to take 8 marks inside their forward 50, so aerially they're on top at the moment.
Beautiful mark taken there by Hooker. Bombers making it hard. Myers gets his handball inside.
Yeah, I think the pressure's got to come from the Port midfield, because the amount of entries are going in, they're clean, Jono. There's no scrubby kick going forward now, so the Port midfield really need to put some heat on the ball carrier for the Bombers.
Zaharakis takes it to the boundary line.
That is a big number, though. 8 marks inside 50 from 19 entries. That percentage is just far too high. 4
clearances to 1 in this second term in Essendon's favour. Let's see if Port can start winning a bit of this type of stuff. Corns had to go to the voice of O'Shea and Carlisle. He came at just the right moment. Clever handball it away. Because it went out of bounds, and now they can reset.
This is more like the Bombers. Time in the forward half, they ranked second in the competition, and the tackles inside 450 ranked second as well. So you can see why in this last 5 or 6 minutes from the Bombers.
Authoritative knock from young Lobie, who seems to have really taken his opportunities in the last month or so. Jono?
Well, he has, and that's what they need to do, because they don't rank that highly with clearances. He needs to continue to get his hands on the ball and give his midfielders first use of it.
Wines, Howlett was in there, in amongst it where he usually is. Corns beats Stanton to the footy, got it out. Comma, Zaharakis combined superbly. Comma to the square, but there's absolutely nobody there for Essendon.
I like the kick. It was a really good disciplined kick, and normally 8 times out of 10 there'll be a player there. So if you're going to make a mistake, he made a mistake playing team footy.
And predictable stuff too. Yep. That's what you want as a forward, isn't it, Danny?
It certainly is, Ed.
And Westhoff comes up and takes the mark. So getting the boos, Westhoff for his hip and shoulder on Joe Watson in the first term. If you've just joined us, Joe Watson subbed off with a shoulder injury. That's in the back and a free kick. Overzealous Schultz on that occasion.
And why is he worked well to close the space up, create that forward pressure that Port Adelaide have been very good at in the first quarter. Just didn't need to get into the back too hard at it. Stay on your feet, create the perfect tackle.
And the entry was good from Port. Andrew Moore, dropped the simplest of mark just to let them settle in this second quarter. They looked really unsettled at the start of this second quarter, Port.
Pears his look at this up to Carlisle. And the kick, Harold set. The race is on now. Hurley gets it, does it beautifully, finds some space, and then kicks the goal on the left foot. Oh, that was magnificent football. Great stuff there from Hurley. Didn't panic, soft hands on the run through if you don't mind. Look at this.
Have a look at the speed though, Ed. Jono and I are watching it. It's like a typewriter. Look at it. He just put the afterburners down. There was steam coming off his boots. He was going that quick. Have a look at here, the third eye. Get another look here. There's nothing the defenders can do with that. They were caught spectating. They shouldn't have allowed Hurley out the back so much. Just opened the leg row back far too much. Well, it's a real worry at the start of this second quarter now. You look at the 9 inside 50s for 5 scoring shots, 4 goals, 1. Port have only put the ball in twice. It's come straight back with interest.
It's kick 2 for the quarter, and Essendon have kicked 4 unanswered goals, and they're marching forward. Well, they were about to be marching forward again. Just a slight fumble from Heppel as Zaharakis causing all sorts of havoc. Gets it in deep again. Suited Winderlich, bit of push, bit of shove. Jonas got some issues. The pressure relentless for the Bombers. Gotcha! Carlisle, fantastic stuff. And Winderlich, Carlisle of Port goes hard the other way. Carlisle of Essendon. And now Goddard. Great vision. He saw Heppel. Good tackling from Port, but Winderlich's going to shape another. That's 5 in 13 minutes. 2 for Winderlich. And Essendon's lead has blown right out to 24 points. Good stuff.
It's magnificent stuff from the Bombers. They need to do some work in the middle of the ground with Lobie as well, because Ryder's just up over the top every single time. He needs to change his angle in the way that he's approaching his run-up, because Ryder is right up over the top, and that's where it's coming down to clearances leading 6-2 in this quarter, and they're dominating in all areas of the game, especially when the ball goes inside forward 50.
How good was the tap?
Yep.
That tap there was absolutely magnificent. The tackles are lifting, as you said, John. The start of this second quarter, Porter just on the back foot, but the Bombers have been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
This is better by Lobie.
So Lobie goes up and gets a tap, but Heppel has been fantastic this quarter. He and Zaharakis have really lifted. Now Collier puts the afterburners on and goes bang, gets a good bounce too. Looking, lurking, Carlisle, open goal, left footed to we missed.
Handball. He was in two minds. He can hear Winderlink, and he's thinking, well, I'm 10 metres out, I'll just put it on the left.
10 metres out. What footballer in the world has a second mind in that situation?
Look, he should have just nailed this easy goal, but you can see Winderlink there, all by himself, just an easy handball.
And that would have been Winderlick's third for the quarter. Burley's kicked 2, Winderlick's got 2, Zaharakis the other, and that would have been 6 in a row for the Bombers. So a reprieve for Port Adelaide, who must reload and just get themselves going and have not been able to get their hand on the football.
Maybe he is a natural forward, Jono, because he didn't handball.
Yeah. Why are you pointing at me?
Whoops.
Oh, there's a massive catastrophe for Port. And what did he play on? He thought about it.
He thought about it.
Kane Corns has been such a wonderful, wonderful player over so many years. Unfortunately, he won't be wanting to remember that kick.
Well, Port Adelaide still with 9 players in this quarter to not touch the football, so that's just too many. Essendon just with the one player who hasn't touched it so far in the early parts of, well, the midway part now of this second quarter.
Paddy Ryder. They have worked up a storm in this second term, the Bombers, for 6 consecutive goals and a lead of out now to 31 points.
Well, the first 5 goals the Bombers kicked was all their good play. But unfortunately now the reactive measures of Port, you have a look at Kane Corns, their most experienced player on the ground. We talked about it early, John. You've got to get back and give yourself enough steps. He's tried to kick off 1 step, maybe 2 at the most. And it was always going to end up in a turnover. It's inexcusable, really, for a senior player. And he will know that more than anyone. But they're the type of deflating goals that can really do hurt you.
So Paddy Ryder sits down after kicking the goal. David King, I'm glad we had the scheduled interview with Ken Hinkley at quarter time and not half time.
Yeah, wasn't happy at quarter time, Ed, and I think he'd be absolutely livid with his troops. They've dropped their pressure significantly in this last 10 minutes.
Well, the contested ball, Kingy, 21-7, Essendon's favour this quarter.
Wingard gets the handball going. Lobe kicks it forward, not with much purpose. That was just a hoik forward and hope for the best. And that is the best player in the history of the game to hoik it out of the defensive 50. Fletcher, it's coming back in though. Ebert, his little chip kick is over the line and out of bounds on the floor. So the inferred pressure as much as the physical pressure starting to get into the heads of the Port Adelaide players at the moment, even their good players.
Yep. Well, the last thing they need to do, Ed, is worry about the scoreboard. Just focus on the next contest.
You're right, Spud. You've got that sense, haven't you? They just want that next goal, but it comes back to other aspects first before you can achieve that.
Hooker goes long down the line. Chance here now for Port Adelaide through Homch. You can say that for me, Anthony, you love it. And Hooker takes another strong mark. He's been great today, Hooker.
Well, you can see why he's ranked #1 in the competition for marks from opposition kicks. He is having an outstanding year.
Stanton, he asked a lot there of Dempsey. He got the spats, though, free kick to him. Just what Port didn't need, and he better return it quickly, Hartlett.
Now, people talk about Hibbard and Carlisle. They've had great years in defence, Fletcher, but Kyle Hooker is having a stellar year.
Now Heppel engaged just at the right moment.
Smart.
On Broadbent. He was very nearly off. He wanted to quickly get onto the left and kick it all the way. Oh, almost the mark.
That hit the post.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it come off Winderlink's hands, and Heppel was looking for the one-on-one on Winderlink. Unfortunately, just dropped it on the way down. Yeah. Oh, bad luck. When he hit the ground, the ball spilled. Would have been a beautiful contested mark.
Not sure the goal umpire actually saw that at that stage. Hartlett with the fly. Ebert as they come away. Port to Monfries. Listen for the boos. And now to Ebert. Up to the 50 again. Essendon getting in good positions just to make life difficult for the Port forwards. Gray had it knocked away by Pears.
Short memories, the Bombers supporters. They were screaming last week about Jobe getting booed.
They found a replacement. They were going to clap Jobe all day, but he's not part of the fun, so they found the boos for Monfries.
Right. I think Monfries been a great servant for the Bombers. Not today, but he gets the inside 50. Didn't quite get onto it. Oh, Hooker caught one right in the back of the head. Danny, that's the way the fullbacks like to give them, not cop them.
I didn't mind an Ed from Schultz because, as we talk about with Kyle Hooker and Schultz having a go here with Stanton, but Have a look at...
Oh, gets caught. Caught on the ankle or the Achilles.
The boot of Corns on his Achilles. I think he might have done his hammy.
He may have, yeah.
We'll have a good look at that. Is he coming off? We'll go down to David King in a moment. In the meantime, the ball comes out through Myers.
Physio's out to him.
Howlett around the body. Oh, look at this. The Bombers are out. And a beautiful kick from Melksham comes up to Carlisle, who ran beautifully into position. And now the long kick is on. And as you can hear from the Essendon crowd, they can call the four-air. It was over the line, out of bounds as soon as it left his boot.
He's staying out there, Stan.
Yeah, he just gave the thumbs up to the bench here, and the physio's happy with his motion at the moment. So we'll wait and see on that one. Dempsey was cleaned up behind players come to the bench.
He's got stopped from Kane Corn, Stan.
He's still labouring a little bit, but let's hope he's okay.
What was that other one, Kingy?
Dempsey just got cleaned up behind play. He's winded at the moment, Ed. I hope it's no rib issue, but he is on the bench at the minute.
Okay.
Oh, the Bombers, a little bit of uncertainty there. That was unfortunate for early Wines because he just simply slipped over.
Yeah, Melksham slipped. It was a free kick. Yeah, Stan's coming off the ground now, David King.
Yeah, he looks sore. I don't think it's an injury as such. It's just an inconvenient graze or an issue with the back of his calf or his Achilles, but I think he'll be okay.
You can see Simon Goodwin there, the assistant coach of the Bombers, talking to Stanton.
We'll certainly be watching that.
There's Goody. Let's have another look here. You got Kane. Oh, yeah, you can just see his left ankle got caught under Kane Corns. Just got jagged in the ground, so it could be a bit of a tweak of the ankle.
Corns away to need, and he looked like he was kicking that to the bench there. So Porter, all at sea just at the moment. Essendon have kicked 6 goals, 3-0 in this second term to lead by 32 points.
Well, there's Stanton coming back on the ground. Yeah, well, that's positive news because they're already Watson down. The last thing they need is Stanton, their number 2 midfielder with Goddard going off.
It could be a very expensive afternoon for the Bombers if they were to lose another. Cale Hooker and David Zaharakis with the most disposals for the Bombers with 16, and Eberts had 19 for Port Adelaide as Boak took it from the hard work from Corns.
Look at this guy.
And Hobbs was obviously outnumbered that time.
Cale Hooker's the best player on the ground at the moment. I know I'm singing his praises, but he's had 17 disposals going to 100%.
Myers got it to Bagley and the Bombers are off and running again.
And a long kick forward. It's a 2-on-1 here, the Bombers. Up goes Carlisle, couldn't quite get the mark, and because of the numbers, Wingard was able to relieve to centre wing. Pears from behind. Just got enough on it. Just got a knuckle graze on it. Hibbert. Handball's inside. Now they open up the Bombers. They've got some run through the midfield. Comes out to Pears, who has a long sweeping handball. It's a beauty too. Out to Fletcher, who transfers play out to the commentary box side. Handball now looks up. Has some more runners out here. I tell you what, Stanton's running.
Gone.
He's moving like me.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yep.
And he is gone. Yep, he comes off. Now, I'm just wondering, was it, we saw his ankle, but also whether there was a bit of calf in there as well, whether or not the knee just went in the back of his calf. Anyway, he goes down for some more treatment.
So what they'll do now, the extended, he'll just have an extended break now, reassess it at half time. He's got 15, 20 minutes to try and get something done there to get it right.
Kingy, next break in play. Tell us what this means for Essendon with Stanton and now Watson both off the field. As the ball goes forward, Schultz finally gets one anywhere near him. Does well, finds some space, swings onto the left boot and finds Westhoff. That was good play. Umpire called play on, didn't hold enough of it. Schultz goes again. He's nice and angry down there, Schultz.
Yeah, but
that's what we want a big forward play to be like.
I thought Westhoff held the mark there. I know it spilled out at the end. Let's have another look. Good pressure from Ryder. It's into his chest. Fair enough, Joe. No, good decision from the umpire.
Well, Port, if they could snag a couple of late, it would, given the Essendon injury toll at the moment, it might keep them right in this contest. And they'll be aware of that. Hurley, was that deliberate? No, it's a throw-in on the wing.
They've been in 8 times, Port. The issue for them, as we see Joe Watson there, out with a shoulder injury, they've been in 8 times. Hooker's marked the ball 4 times. Yeah. So they've got to find a way to get round Cale Hooker.
Merritt. And they're outnumbered, the Bombers there, hitting it hard. Collier just slapped it back where he knew there were some teammates lying in wait, and here they are going to work. Howlett, again, had a lot to overcome. Now Carlisle for Port. Just a little bit of a fumble, but it ends okay for Jones. And Westhoff going to be confronted by plenty of Bomber jumpers further afield. And here's the former Bomber, Monfries. Ollie Wines is pushed down to the goal square, but unseen at the moment. Even coming up for his 20th disposal of the game.
Look at the work rate of Bombers getting back behind the ball.
He's a chance from here, Monfries. He decides to take on one of his former teammates, Myers. Didn't show him a lot of respect, and he slotted that. No, just missed. And
yeah, they needed that. They needed that. It was good play from Monfries in the end. Sigh of relief there from Myers.
Getting back to your question, Ed, you've got Watson out of the game, who's the #1 score involvement player at Essendon. Stanton with an issue, who's ranked 3rd at Essendon. We know that Port are fast finishers. They're the best fourth quarter team in the competition. I know it's a 5-goal gap at the moment, but you really want to make sure you put Port Adelaide away in this next 20 minutes of football, because if you leave them in the game, they just may get some hope and some belief.
Yeah, well, they've won 11 out of their 13 final quarters, which is a great stat.
Okay, so we've got 3 minutes and 10 seconds left, and Port Adelaide must kick a goal, you reckon, to give themselves a chance here. Don't need to give the Bombers 5 goals head start in the second half. Wingard taken to the boundary line, good play by Zaharakis.
Yeah, well, Ken Hinkley, the mathematics are pretty simple, Ed, when you talk about effort. The contested ball, 34 this quarter, the Bombers, only 16 to Port Adelaide. That's a smacking.
So a big 3 minutes here before half-time. Ryder just flicks it out the back. Good play. Hartlett goes in, hip and shoulder. Goddard was good. Melksham got a little toe poke out. It's picked up by Jonas. Gets the handball going. This could be the opportunity for Port Adelaide that we've been looking for. O'Shea runs around, gets it back to Westhoff. Westhoff now looks long. Schutz is his man. He gets into the position, goes up. Good play, double team back there. Fletcher just came back with the flight, which was enough to give Pears a bit of a chop out. That was good play.
Yeah, well, what happens to the half forwards for Port? I've been watching their work rate. Robbie Gray, Wingard, O'Shea, Jono, they're getting up the ground, then they're loitering. They're not getting back to engage.
Yep, that's exactly right.
The unlikely ruckman, as it turned out, he just kicked it straight to the line, and Hurley sees it out. So the Bombers, you feel like they're defending at the moment to some degree.
Well, what they're doing, Hutto, they're staying at home in their defence, but the forwards for Port, they're not going back to play one-on-ones. They're trying to get a cheap one up the middle of the ground.
Well, they're getting 5 metres, but they're making it 15 instead of keeping it at 5.
And as we know, Fletcher and Cale Hooker are the best in the comp with the high ball. So if they are under pressure in the midfield and they're outnumbered forward, it's coming back with interest.
A little bit of negativity down here on the bench, boys. We've got Brent Stanton's made his way back to the bench and now has just gone downstairs shaking his head. I don't think we'll see Brent Stanton for the rest of the day.
Wine screwed it back into the 50. Some pressure starting to be applied by Port again in there, but Hooker is standing up to it not once but twice. They go again. So crucial that Port can try and put one through here. Goddard straight back into the fray. He's worn one there nicely for the Bombers, and we'll have another throw up. And we're down to a minute 47.
What about Corns' 3 efforts there, including the tackle right at the end? He's thrown himself right in. If ever there's a player who's trying to lift Port Adelaide at the moment, it's him. It comes out the back, a beautiful hit to Gray. It's going to bounce through. It's a goal. They needed to get one, and Gray got it. Even over the top. Gray kicks the goal.
Well, that's the goal. You're spot on it. That Port Adelaide needed, especially with the injury worries to the Essendon Footy Club at the moment. But on the flip side, Essendon will be just as disappointed because they had Hooker back there, but they had Fletcher in behind him. No one in the goal square. Fletcher getting back late and unfortunately couldn't put any mitt on the ball. So therefore, you see behind the goals here from the third eye, actually, and Fletcher getting back there late. But great goal from Port Adelaide. Set up by Kane Corns, as you said, Ed, keeping the ball locked into that end of the ground.
Much needed goal for Port, and there's no doubt Ken Hinkley will talk about the contested ball, the discrepancy in the second quarter, but he'll also talk about the positive of they're 2 down. So we need to continue to run, take the game on.
Heppel found a way out of there. He needs to settle for Zaharakis. Port starting to get to the ball first in the last 5 minutes. Good hands again from Corns and Lobie and Jonas and Boak. And they mounted something. Schultz in the sights. Comes steaming out, but Hooker knew where it was going.
That's number 5 for the quarter. They've got to find a way through Cale Hooker. They've got to engage
the way through them was to Boak put the ball on the ground, take a bounce and take the space that was presented in front of him. He could have run to 55.
Or get whoever's on Cale Hooker, get him back to the goal umpire. At least he can become accountable and force him to defend, because it's not a coincidence that he's ranked number 1 in the competition for intercept marks. He reads the play extremely well. Force him to defend.
Plenty of signalling going on from the Bombers, from Goddard. Clearly the message has gone out for them just to maintain the footy for the next 45 seconds. Doesn't matter where you go on the ground, you just got to hit a target, and Goddard's prepared to kick it a long way to make sure that happens.
They're on here.
Pears Changes the angle up. He took a chance, went into the corridor. Gets a second opportunity. A handball to Dempsey. We're down to 29 seconds.
Hurley just on the ground.
He just motioned through and couldn't take it. Now Port can come back the other way. Jonas, in fact, it was a kick from Tringo.
So that was better by Gray because Fletcher gave him 5 and he only took that.
14 seconds, 12 now.
And there's
Schiltz.
Yep.
It could be up to Westhoff to come hard or to go up and take a mark high. Indecision could cost them the opportunity. The kick's gone in between, really. It went to all Essendon. And the siren's going to sound. A dominant turn from the Bombers, but still some issues for Essendon in this game. Port Adelaide are right in this, Jono.
Well and truly in at Hutto with all the issues, as you said, going on with Watson, down Stanton, down Dempsey's had his issues as well in that second quarter. Port Adelaide, they need to go in at half-time, just settle things down and get that motivation. The fact they got fresh legs and they could have a chance here to run over the top of the Bombers.
All right, let's go down to David King, who's with the captain of Port Adelaide, Trevor Spoke.
I am, and as captain, what will be your message at half-time? You're trying to fight your way back in.
Yeah, look, we would speak about the combo and tackling contested possession, and they just got too many uncontested. Then we let it play on their terms, and we just had to get back in it with contested ball.
You know you're fast finishers. You've built that fourth quarter charge in the last few weeks. That must give you some real energy and hope now.
Yeah, look, we know we've got the run, but they're a pretty fit side too. They're probably one of the top 2 in the comp for the last quarter, so it's going to be a good finish.
I hope Kenny's a bit happier at half-time than he was at quarter time.
Yeah, look, I think we're pretty disappointed with the result that quarter, so we'll get back out here in the second half and see how we go.
Good luck.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Good on you, David King, with Trevor Spoke, and he is one player that must lift for the Port Adelaide side. He's been basically unsighted today, the captain of Port Adelaide. He is a star, and he needs to lift, so there's plenty of upside for Port Adelaide. They trail by 25 points at half-time, but the Bombers are without Stanton and the Brownlow medalist Jobe Watson. Watson gone for the game, and it doesn't look like Stanton will be coming back either. Essendon lead by 25 points, a fantastic second term by the Bombers, but there's plenty of football left in this game when we return.
Bomber, quick one, mate. Can you just give us an update on Jobe and Brent Stanton?
I think Jobe's hurt his collarbone, so he'll be out for a little bit. Stan's we're going to try and get back playing, so we'll see how he just starts the game and see if he can run through it.
What was the biggest discussion at half-time?
Oh, just staying on track. Look, our first quarter wasn't the best quarter of footy the way we planned to play. Second quarter was. We shouldn't just get carried away with anything. What we want to see is a good, solid full quarter performance.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Mark Thompson joining David King, boundary side. Great to hear from Bomber and the honesty there. Jobe Watson, a collarbone. We'll get to the bounce here. Danny Frawley, a collarbone. That's got to be at least 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, if it's a great throw, it'll be definitely 6 to 8 weeks, Ed.
So he'll certainly would probably need to get a plate inserted in the collarbone, you'd think, as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if he has an operation, it'll be definitely 6 to 8. There's no doubting that whatsoever.
Okay, well, we'll just
nasty injury.
If it's a broken collarbone, and it would appear that would be the situation for that man there, the reigning Brownlow medalist, the superstar of Essendon, their captain, who's been under so much drama already this season, and particularly in the last 13 days or so. Let's get back to the action. Anthony Hudson calling it. 25 points, the Bombers lead.
Ollie Wines again trying to force his way through, and with some effect to half forward. Hooker, the hard-working Bomber defence. Collaboration terrific. They've sorted it out nicely again. Hibbert to Dempsey. His first instinct is just to run and attack, and that's what they're doing, sweeping it across half-back. Carefully on the way out, made Bagley dive. The degree of difficulty was a little bit of a higher multiple than it should have been, and he was able to keep things moving. And the Bombers to the wing, but that's where it comes undone. Wingard shows he's got some defensive thoughts as well. Collier running the tightrope, almost kept it in.
Very close there. Wingard did a great job just to get enough push on him to get him out of play. But the other one's Stanton as well. And what do you do with Stanton? Do you just bring him on and let him play as a wing to float up and down and keep out of those contested situations just to avoid any more impact on that ankle or lower leg injury?
I think the fact that if he can be out there a bit, John, and just allow the rotations for the other players, that helps too, doesn't it? Schiltz.
Because everyone says you can play him in a forward pocket, but if a high ball comes in, he has to go for it. It's going to cause more damage than just floating up and down a wing.
The old days of just staying in a forward pocket are long gone too, aren't they?
That's
it. Ebert, outstanding opening half. His 21st disposal coming up. Been a very important recruit. They've done a great job, Port Adelaide, in rebuilding their list. That was not a great kick.
I'm watching Justin Westhoff. He's the most important player in Port's team. He spectated the ball. His direct opponent was Cale Hooker. He has to go and engage him.
The other disappointing thing as well is the last kick just before half-time was exactly the same. So therefore they just haven't. They would have assessed things at half-time. They just didn't change it.
Comes Zaharakis' way in the end. Short to Bellchambers. Windelic's in the square, waiting for the release. He's chased. In fact, he didn't have to move. He did not have to move.
Well, it started with Cale Hooker again, but it was great ball movement from the Bombers. I'm sure Ken Hickley would have talked about it at half-time with Cale Hooker, but all the onus on that occasion was Justin Westhoff. I was watching and thought, well, this is interesting. Hooker's the best player on the ground, and all Justin Westhoff did was half lead. If you half lead on a guy like that, you'll say, you don't want the ball, I'm going to get it.
Windelic, careful kick, does the job. Another one to Jason Windelic. He's got 3 as well.
And you look at the ball that went inside 52, it went with some penetration, so therefore he didn't actually have to move. He's just sort of working in a sort of 5-metre area there. You can see Logan giving him plenty of room. And then the ball was just too good coming in because it went in with some penetration. It didn't have the height on it, which we saw from Port Adelaide a minute earlier. Ball comes down that end of the ground, penetration in the kick, and that's the effect. You put your teammate in the right spot to take a good mark.
Stanton's back out there, boys. He's in the middle here.
Yeah, we heard Bomber Thompson at half-time, and that's great news.
So that's Stanton just behind the Essendon ruckman. Bellchambers there at the back of the pack. He'll get this one too. It'll tap his way. In he goes. Didn't quite dash after it. Left it. Now he gets it. Oh, that was as half-hearted as you'll ever see a kick come out there. So I don't know how long he'll stay out there, Stanton. In the meantime, Corns off one step. Hoiks it forward. Hoping. Off the hands of the pack. Goddard flicks the ball out. Bombers have just got plenty of space. Look at that, it's all red and black. And Stanton's kick again just had nothing on it. So as well as much as he's trying, he just can't get any purchase on his foot. He's put his hand up there on the bottom of the screen. And guess who?
Well,
is Cooker? Is he wearing the right jumper?
I'm not going to say anything because I sound like a broken record.
Go on, give us one more.
Well, they need to engage him, Ed, and make him defend.
Didn't take much. Oh, they're flying again. The Bombers to half forward. Windelic camped under for a while. O'Shea, and it's over.
Danny, can you just tell us from a fullback's point of view what Hooker is positioning himself? How does he position himself for those balls coming in?
He plays the angles that well, Ed. He reads the play extremely well. But what's happening with Westhoff and Schultz when they lead, they're only leading half-hearted. So he will know they're not going to get the ball. So he'll just track the ball and follow the ball.
Broadbent with the releasing kick. Gray was what he had in mind. Needed help from all comers, and one of them was Schultz, so he's way up the ground, Schultz. Westhoff can poke it, Boak.
I reckon on the other side too, Spud, he's got the logo rule. Once his player goes past the logo, he's just letting him go. He's just then comes back to create the extra.
Monfries is an unlikely tall target. Schultz has to be the rover at the back. Bobbling around with Wingard slung, but he went with it. Now, is that in the back?
Yeah, it was.
And advantage paid. How about that one? Sneaky Angus.
James Schultz will be happy.
If he loses the Coleman medal by 1 goal, there's the man responsible, Angus Monfries.
It was a good effort in the goal front. You can just see here, Schultz get the ball. Stanton gives a free kick away. Monfries like a little rabbit here, burrowing out, and you just see the ball spill out the back here.
Surely you can't call it advantage for Barry.
That is not continuous play.
That is ridiculous, that.
We've got to ask the question of Tate Pears why he give it to him.
There he is, the pickpocket.
Well, the smart play. You just see there, Tate Pears had to be a little bit stronger and hold the ball. I think we're all worried about the free kick. You're always in the game of AFL football.
But that's bad umpiring. That's not continuous play. He should have had to go back and kick on the end.
Out of the middle quickly to Boak. Suddenly there's some urgency and maybe some system as well for Port Adelaide. Wingard did enough.
Yeah, good mark. Yeah, he held it long enough. He definitely held it long enough there. And he's on Dustin Fletcher there. It's a better kick, Johnny. You know why? It was low. All the high kicks that go into Port's forward 50 suits Pears, Fletcher and Hooker. They've got to change the way they deliver the ball and just lower their eyes a little bit, and that was a much better kick. It was a risky kick, but they're hard to defend.
He needs to focus in here now because he's been worried about the angle the umpires put him on. He pointed to the fence. Where do you want me, over the fence?
Well, he refused to go around any further. And the umpires let him come in and dictate the terms. He puts it through, most importantly for his second goal. And they're back to 19 now.
Yeah, he's had a great year, Chad Wingard. He's averaged 22 disposals, leads the club in score involvements. Have a look at the kick here from Boak. And just see him lower his eyes. Instead of banging the ball long, it's just a well-weighted kick.
Good body.
Good body use. Yeah, very good mark there. It's a lot better kick. It's very hard to defend against those kicks. And high risk, high return, but they need to play that way because Essendon with the high ball, they read it so well. They play the angles so well. It's a much better goal from Port.
So Wingard gets his second goal, back-to-back goals for Port Adelaide. They're back to 19 points. And most importantly, Travis Boak, their skipper, starting to get amongst the action now. He was very quiet in the first half. He is the man who needs to really lift for this Port Adelaide side to get back into the game. Essendon down 2 players, and suddenly Port Adelaide are full of run. The ball goes forward. Out comes Boak again, gets a bad bounce. Schultz almost ridden into the ground, just rolled at the right time. Pears did enough. Here's Wingard, he was tripped. Oh, Fletcher did his trademark trip.
Well done, well umpired. He was blindsided there for a minute.
He used to get rubbed out every other week, once upon a time, Fletcher.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 decades ago, but
he nearly got away with that one.
Now let's have a look at this. It spills out, and just a little grab of the bootlaces there. So Wingard, who kicked the last goal. Sorry, Danny.
Well, he's got no option to go long this time, Ed.
And he does. He puts it up. It's like Jack in the pack. Everyone flies. Fletcher hits it, and it goes over the boundary line and a throw in. So this is almost like a centering kick, the throw-ins these days, aimed at the centre circle. So right to the top of the square here, a big opportunity for Port Adelaide. They trail by 19 points. They need to get one back here. It goes to the back, perfect conditions. There it goes. Monfries kicks his second. That was absolutely set up.
You could sense it, Ed.
That was amazing.
That was beautifully called. It was the old quarterback out the back. The hit went to the defensive area, and you can just see the setup here. Gray out the back to Monfries. They were ready for it, just like any quarterback. They're waiting for that pass to the blind side.
Well, Zara Rack, as you can see there, he's on Monfries. He gets drawn into Gray now after the perfect tap and leaves Monfries all by himself.
What a great tap from Lobie.
Fantastic.
Just a well-weighted tap and just allowed Gray to run under the ball. Well, Port haven't had an issue tonight getting the ball inside their forward 50. It's 34 inside 50s now to 28. So now they're starting to get some reward for effort when the ball's going inside their forward 50.
Third goal for Angus Monfries too against his old side. He'd be delighted. Free kick, no advantage.
Well, the start of this quarter, Hutto, 5 inside 50s to Port, only 1 to Essendon. Essendon kicked the 1 goal and Port 3.
Good decision not to handball from Ryder. Got the kick deep off Bellchambers. Centimetres away from his fourth. The fourth seemed to be there with Howard, but he just couldn't get onto the end of the footy.
And more importantly, the contested ball. Whoever wins the contested ball nearly wins the quarter. Have a look at the start of this quarter. Port 12 contested possessions. Essendon 5. So great start from Port.
Now Ryder hit it into the dangerous spot, and there's Monfries doing the business at the other end of the ground. Broad bent. Penetrating kick for Gray.
Excellent mark.
Under pressure, good grab. And Port can move it forward again.
I'm just watching Stanton on need. He can't go with him. He is becoming a bit of a liability out there. He's going to be exposed for pace, particularly at the goal face, I think, by need if he plays this really smartly.
I agree, Kingy, as well, on the back of the fact that he hasn't used the ball that well either. His first couple of kicks in this quarter were ineffective, so he just needs to be smarter and just try and work into some uncontested areas where he can use the ball effectively when he does get it.
I think the Bombers need him for the interchange rotation as well.
Off hands, and suddenly a little bit of doubt starts to creep into the Essendon defence, which has been so resolute. Winds over the ball, does it beautifully, does the flying mare over the top, and here's a chance now. They've been waiting for this, the Port Adelaide side, to get going, and Monfries again kicks his third. Fourth of the game, third of the quarter, you wouldn't believe it.
Angus Monfries, the man who has just set Port Adelaide alight in this third quarter. Inside 50s, they're dominating 6 inside 50s to 2, but Spud kicked 4 goals on the back of it, And look, Wines did a great job then, got the ball going forward momentum. Robbie Gray was all by himself. Essendon had worked up towards that contest, and he was able to get out of the back, as was Monfries running back towards goal. Great play, Port Adelaide.
What a great start from Port. You talk about efficient football. 32 disposals for 4 goals. So every 8th disposal they're kicking a goal.
And again they get another free out of the middle. And they capitalise this time. Hairpole, low bullet of a kick. Carlisle not finding enough space. I wonder if they're going to stick with Carlisle and Hurley forward. And this onslaught at the start of the third quarter. Collins in a whole world of pain and trouble. That could be in the back. In the end it was. First part of the tackle was terrific, but the second over the top concedes the free.
Geez, Hobbs just got a fingernail on that ball going in, Hutto. Made the difference. They're on the run here.
They are. Hartlett trying to break through. No free.
That's better. Look, Westhoff is, and all of a sudden Hooker has to man the mark.
Goes for Gray. No chop of the arms. Schultz, and it's over and out.
Well, it's a lot better from Westhoff. He's just got to get in dangerous spaces all the time. His concentration levels have to be super.
Second quarter, Essendon kicked 6 goals in a row to get out to a 31-point lead. Winderlick kicked the goal at the start of this quarter to make it 31 points again, and since then, Port Adelaide. Monfries has kicked 3 and Wingard once. The small forwards for Port Adelaide getting amongst it, and we've got a game on our hands here. The Bombers are 2 down. If you've just joined us, Jobe Watson, it looks like he might have, well, he's got a suspected broken collarbone, and he is out of the game, and at the moment out there Stanton is running around basically hobbling on one leg. So they're down 2 players. Good tackle. Dempsey got him.
Yeah, a lot better tackling. Just the last couple of minutes, the Bombers can sense that Port are throwing everything at them. A lot more aggression in the tackles here from the Bombers.
So Monfries and Trengove have their own personal war out there on defensive 50. No 50 metres given. Heppel's been fantastic. So Heppel and Wines going head-to-head at the moment. Heppel goes long. Punched away by Carlisle at Port Adelaide. Ball hits the ground. Merritt's there. Flicks it out to Melksham. Handball inside to Winderlick, who got the goal early in the quarter for the Bombers. Has been a great player. He's kicked 3 goals himself, and he finds Hurley. 45 out on the boundary line. Bombers need one here just to settle the nerves a bit. Right up to the hot spot. Off hands, there's Stanton. Can he squeeze a goal? No, he can't. Just pushed off, and Carlisle relieves for Port Adelaide.
Now, he didn't know whether to run and gun or whether to just get rid of it. Somewhere in between. Look at Hurley. No mark paid. He tried to claim it. Heppel held momentarily. Bombers fans baying for blood. Little Collier working hard at the coalface. Tapped away Westhoff. Again, stripped, and he goes really hard, Collier. Play on. Port player caught in the crash. No free kick. Howlett. This is good stuff, isn't it?
It's game on now. It's game on.
Both teams just putting their bodies on the line, whether it's down low for a contested ball or in the air, to go back with courage.
Lobey taps it straight back to Moore. Can't get a run at it. Howlett. It comes out of there eventually. Moore and Wingard. Swamps with a clearing kick.
Looks like Brent Stanton's pushed himself to full forward. He knows he's got an issue with that left ankle. He's got himself out of the back line and gone to full forward. A wise move.
Lobey's ruck work has been absolutely outstanding this quarter. He has dominated in the ruck.
So the big kick comes in. Here is Stanton. How can he go? He's up against Logan. 1-on-1 there, and it was a pretty good result for the Bombers. So they get a throw in. They can do the same situation as we saw the last Port Adelaide goal, or the second last Port Adelaide goal to Monfries. Got to set it up here.
28 hit-outs to Lobey, only 17 to Ryder.
Ryder flicks it out the back. They were heading in the same direction. Melksham goes to the ground. He got the push in the back. Might have been a bit light on. What do you reckon, boys?
Well, I think it was there, Ed. It was a great tap from Ryder. I was just about to say that.
He's kicked it. He's played on and kicked it straight on the mark from 25 metres out. They come up with new ways to confound us, our AFL players, every week. In the meantime, Monfries has got the mark on centre wing. Wow. What about that one? We'll go back and have a look in a moment. Both off hands. Hooker has been fantastic, but now he's in a world of trouble. Gets the handball out. Now the Bombers must just compose themselves at the moment. It is absolute panic stations out there for the Bombers.
Yep.
Wines to the boundary line, throw in. Let's have a look at this again.
Well, have a look. He's...
Great smother.
You know what he thought? He thought Hamish Hartlett wasn't switched on, but he was. He was in the game all the time. He looked down at the mark, and Melcham thought, well, I'll just play on here. A great smother.
20 metres out from goal. I don't get it.
Slight angle. Go back and put it through, Jono.
Just have a set shot. Take 30 seconds off the clock.
There's good work by Port. They've controlled the footy. Ebert, little instep. And the next kick not so flash. Pears comes hard at it. Make sure there's no damage done, but they're deep inside their 50.
They're going to give themselves every chance, Port, because as we know, Darren Burgess is their fitness coach, and we know their last quarters, and he was the fitness coach in 2007 when they won the flag.
It's been to Liverpool. He's been some of the biggest clubs around the world, so comes back with some great knowledge as well.
They're really aggressive off these stoppages now, Port Adelaide. They're really starting to run. You can see them excite into space. They've got a real feel for this game now.
Bombers defenders all goal side, which meant if it did come out this way, Port were in the game. It goes the other. Collier getting himself really busy again. Goddard working with Collier. Wanted to release it and then realised he had a little more precious seconds than he thought and used them wisely. Finds Howlett, and now they've got out to Pears. He hasn't heard the call. Now he has. And he makes the necessary adjustments, although the kick not great. Myers at 2 to contend with. Ebert been outstanding. His 25th disposal. Port just slightly on the back foot though. Heppel went to ground and then he was out of it. Pittard recovered well. Aims one up to half forward. It's all Essendon. They need to just talk and sort it out, and they do. And this time it's Pears who takes the reliever.
Just settled the last 5 minutes here, the Bombers.
So Pears goes out to Fletcher. You can see Fletcher trying to kick around the body. Look at the kick. It's an absolute cracker. What a beauty. To Winderlook, who ran to the space and allowed the veteran defender to kick it straight to him.
Good
now the Bombers are running. Yeah, good running through the midfield. Goddard looks up, decides to go long and strong. And Essendon got the right position here. Stanton used his body beautifully against Corns. It was a beautiful kick. And he just weighed his body on him nicely, held him out.
How's he going to go with the kick?
Well, I think it'll be okay, and I think he's actually moved forward to go to full forward. He was definitely down there, and that's a great move to get Kane Corns out of the midfield as well.
Brent Stanton hasn't been able to get any purchase on the 2 kicks he's had in this quarter. He just nurses it through. Beautiful kick. And that is a badly needed goal for the Bombers.
Johnny, you could just tell the last 5 minutes the intensity levels lifted from the Bombers, and they needed to, because Port come out of the blocks in the start of this third quarter with 4. The ball movement here was terrific. Goddard's run from half back was absolutely outstanding, and he assessed the one-on-one here with Stanton pushing forward. It was just a beautifully well-weighted kick, and you can see Corns looking around for the umpire, but just held him off. He held his line, and that's what you want in a contested mark. Great finish.
Here's how it got there.
It was great ball use, perfect play. You just see the Goddard run here to the mark, and then the kick, the long kick there to the contest, and beautiful mark and finish from Stanton.
Great fight by Stanton, but talk about fight. This is Hartlett with a massive boom! Oh, it hits the post.
That deserved a goal.
That was huge.
It actually gained momentum on the way through. It just kept going.
Darryl Eastlake should have been calling that one, shouldn't he, really?
All right, so the Bombers reload again. They've stopped a run of 4 consecutive goals for Port Adelaide.
Great running here from Dempsey.
Yeah.
Really good gut running here. Sesty was on the ruckman on Lobie. Lobie's trying hard, but Dempsey knows he's got him.
And he knew Fletcher would kick it 60 metres to him, and he did. The kick around the corner, though, he had all the time in the world. Westhoff dropped what he should have taken. It comes out the back. Here's a chance now. Over the top was Logan, just stretching for it, getting into trouble. Wines now is held, tackled, got rid of the ball. Effectively said the umpire. Moore now just little chips over the top. It's good play. Now they're a chance. Even.
Oh, look at Monfries.
Kicks long, and Monfries is going to kick his 4th of the quarter and 5th of the game. Can you believe this?
What a great mark.
Bomber.
What a magnificent mark there. And look, Fletcher made him earn it. Never took his eyes off the ball. That's a great lesson for anyone watching at home.
Well, he's decided to go around the body, and he's missed it as well. Now, Angus Monfries is one of the best set shots you'll ever see.
That's the pressure. Just go back, Brad. Go back, get your routine. That's not his routine. That's not his goalkeeping routine.
Maybe didn't want the Essendon pressure from the fans. Crazy when he's kicked.
It is crazy.
That's a quarter that he's had. He's kicked 3 goals already.
15 metres out on an angle. Here's a beautiful kick of the football.
That's a huge
Jason Dunstall will have been. He'll have fallen off the chair.
Comma, they're on the break. Hurley got Belchambers in the square. Got Goddard at the top. He wants to go solo. Some sort of goal he was trying to conjure there.
But look at that. That's nearly the result as it's on in the goal square.
This game's on now. There's a lot riding on this game. Look at this.
Take a kick. The time is counting. Come on. It's a point. The time's counting.
Big Tommy's looking at.
He's ripped a couple of shirts. He's looking for some more.
Yeah, there's Adapelle.
Little off the shoulder number.
But the result as well, Hutto, on the fact of Monfrey's doing what he did down this end, he's nearly a goal to the Bombers.
Yeah, it was nearly 11-point turnaround, wasn't it there, Jono? Westhoff, a strong mark. Melksham still a little bit shell-shocked from his brain fade. But Angus Monfrey's, who is just such a good kick at goal, that's the thing that I can't understand. If you're at that kick, maybe. If it's a Stevie Milne who loves to kick around the angles and does it every day, fair enough. But Angus Monfrey's to kick the goal to really give them an opportunity, and running hot has kicked 3 for the quarter, 4 for the match.
You actually want the ball in your hands.
Yeah. Anyway, Zaharakis, who was great in that second quarter, been a bit quieter in this third one. Ryder needs to get into this game. He does now, under pressure. Loby's there. Back to Ryder, back to Zaharakis for the Bombers. Good run down, but he got his kick inside 50. Fantastic stuff from Carlisle.
Yeah, he's actually beat his namesake today, and I know that's a blue, the pressure again, but he's been outstanding on Jake Carlisle. Jake Carlisle had the 5 marks in the first quarter. He's only taken 1 for the rest of the game.
Do you think that'll catch on, that look, Jono? The open shirt look?
Danny Frawley used to get around the underground.
Maybe in the beach, Hutto.
A long kick forward up. They go. Belchambers flew, couldn't hold it. That's in the back. Has to be in the back. Look, he's sitting on top of him. He's riding him like Glenn Boss. No free kick. Big 5 minutes, Hutto.
Oh, no doubt about that. The crowd consents it too. They'd love to jag one right here, right now. Howl it.
Well, that's the one they needed, Spud. Hard contested footy for the last 5 minutes of play. Both sides have had opportunities and haven't been able to take them with some silly mistakes, especially with the opportunity to kick some easy set shots. But that was just good, hard footy from Essendon, in tight, and just did everything they could to win the footy. Port Adelaide had the numbers there, but Howlett in the end with a good snap around the corner.
Yeah, the Bombers are getting smashed at the start of this third quarter. The last 10 minutes, they've won the contested ball, they've won the clearances, they've won the inside 50s, and more importantly on the scoreboard, 2 goals won to the 2 behinds, one of those from Monfrey's, which was a big clanger.
So back in the centre, Zaharakis again. Stanton got the kick out, so he's starting to go a bit. He's warmed that leg up. Beautiful play from Comma to Hurley. Open goal, Bombers! Kick 3 on the trot to go to a 24-point lead.
Centre clearances. It was about 8 seconds, that goal.
How good was Comma there?
Yeah, Comma was absolutely outstanding, Hutto. Zaharakis, there's Stanton there on one leg getting the forward. It's a brave bit of play from him. Have a look at Comma. What a great pick and pocket here from Hurley. And thought Hurley could have kept running there.
Absolutely.
Because what he could have done is drill the Port defender. But have a look at the attack on Comma there. Absolutely outstanding assault on the ball.
What a game, Ed.
Look at Michael Hurley, just 10 disposals, 6 contested possessions, 3 goals straight.
I think Angus Monfrey's would like to relive 30 seconds of his life again.
Oof.
So back in the centre, Belchambers gets the tap. This centre clearance is vital. I tell you what, Heppel has played a massive quarter. He's been fantastic.
Port have just made their sub, boys. About time. Honch has been taken out of the game and Stewart in for some run.
Okay, well, Dempsey off the back of the pack, just dragged down in time. Boat gets the handball going now. Ebert, who's usually clever, and he is, to Westhoff, who's got to get more into the game here. Just flicks it. It was finessing. It was good play, but it didn't quite come off. And as a result of that, the Bombers have got the rebound. The kick from Dempsey had a little bit too much on it. Good tackling Howlett in over the line, out of bounds, throw in. So 3 minutes and 50, and you reckon with the Bombers down sort of 1.5 players, because we're not sure how Stanton's leg's going to go. We know that Watson's out. They've played their sub already now, the Port Adelaide side. They really have to get a goal in these last 3 minutes and 43 seconds, but they give away a free kick.
Well, we know Port will come home with a wet sail, and purely on stats, as we talked about, they're ranked 1 in the competition, having outscored the opposition by a total of 155 points over the 13 games.
All the way back to Fletcher, and now Hibbert advancing towards the middle of the ground. Zaharakis will go up, and he lost his footing at the crucial moment, which made things a little more difficult for him once it hit the ground. The ball is out though, and the Essendon fans feeling pretty secure with that. They lead by 24, and once again, vital 3 minutes ahead, particularly for Port Adelaide. Can they get a late one? They managed to in the second. And the Bombers look like they're going to be happy to see out as much time as they can here.
Well, they do know they can score quickly, Port. We know that. We've talked about their final quarters, but with their run and energy they're providing at the moment, I still think 4 goals is not a big margin.
Ryder got it down. Here's Stewart, the sub. Decided to bundle it up and send it Ebert's way. Into half forward. Schultz will get a look at this. He'll get a good look. Fletcher just finds a way to nullify, even when he seems to be out of position. Umpire's reading on this one.
Yep.
There's a throw.
Well, Hunter, that's a Fletcher factor there, that Schultz knew that he actually had to become the defender then, because Fletcher read the play so well, he had to bring the ball to the ground.
Goddard, Monfries, almost forced the incorrect disposal. Well done, Robbie Gray. 2 minutes 42 now.
Well, they've been good in this position today, Port Adelaide. They've been able to score regularly from stoppages or throw-ins in this position.
Watch for Lobie over the back.
Moore's running to the right, if they can get it that way. No, it goes to Goddard.
Yeah, it was great positioning from Paddy Ryder there.
And again, Comer is a real crowd favourite, and you can see why. Just has so many little things. Extra grunt around the pack. He's got it now in the back foot, releasing to Hurley. Took a little while to get there, the handball. Made things a little tougher. Oh, brilliant stuff, Melsham. Kicked when he had to kick. And now he does bring it into the middle to Merritt.
Oh, look at Carl Hooker.
Oh, he's got plenty of reinforcements from behind. Hooker, been a stellar defender all day. Will he wind up for a shot? No, he passes Carlisle. Just a little off balance. And well done from the other Carlisle.
Oh, great defence.
And that's any of 3 decisions there.
Yeah, well done. Ended up being well done from both Carlisles. One the initial defence and one the Jake from Essendon. Good pressure to force the ball up.
Big 2 minutes here. Heppel tries to get it. Oh, good play from Goddard to Ryder. Just couldn't quite get the angle right. Through for a behind. So the Bombers now 25 points in front. Just on the paint nearly there. The kick in from Broadbent. Good mark from Schultz. They've got runners further afield. Good kick from one step from Schultz out to the skipper Boak, who marks and goes. Has a little short on and goes beautifully. That's been a wonderful transition, Danny.
Well, it certainly has. Good ball movement.
Robbie Gray's been a good player, and Boak kept running. He's got it. So minute 22, they need a goal, Port.
4 goals, 2 each for the quarter.
Yeah, Goddard's had an outstanding quarter with 8 disposals. Melcham 9 for Port, Ebert and Wines 8 each.
So Boak just holding it up. And now needs to deliver. The captain's goal, if ever there was one. He comes in and kicks and hits the inside of the post. It's coming back.
What a magnificent kick.
2 posters in this quarter, that one there, and a big one from Hartlett earlier as well.
So for all their work, they've only gained 1 behind, but I think there's a fumble. A little bit off balance there with the injury, perhaps Stanton apologises, but for all their work, they've only gained 1 behind, John, but they would still believe, I think.
Oh, definitely. You can see Stanton there at the end of this quarter, the limp is becoming more pronounced.
Howlett didn't want to rush the handball. Good desperation from Bagley. Have they got an opportunity here in 30 seconds? They have. Placed out very wide the kick. And now Heppel, will he turn back onto the left? Pokes the right. Along the line. Nice punch. He's run from all the way.
3 tools forward. Just get it in there.
And pokes it into Heppel. Just couldn't quite cling onto it.
Well, they had Ryder, Hurley and
Chancey.
Carlo on the top of the square.
Chance if he goes, and he did Wingard. Westhoff, 5 seconds to go. Need a mark from here. Oh, he fell over in the quicksand. Hurried kick, and the siren sounds. Ooh. Hooker.
Yeah, he won't go with that hooker.
Bit of world championship wrestling here, boys.
There was no need for him from Westhoff. The quarter was finished, and Hooker had every right to go back at Westhoff.
He's been reported. Don't get reported.
He's reported him.
I still think a free kick should be allowed to be paid here. That would solve a lot of this.
Yeah.
So even though the siren sounded,
It's going to take a
free kick
For the start of the next quarter? Or
You couldn't give it now. It's going to take a long kick from Hooker to kick a goal from there.
Yeah, but a free kick for at the opening bounce in the next quarter.
That makes sense.
Sorted out. In the meantime, I tell you what, they've gone through the laundry bill today. The Port Adelaide team, there's been plenty of jumpers dragged off. Westhoff trying to just show a little bit of muscle. Well, they're going to have to do it when it counts in the next quarter of football, Port Adelaide, because they trail by 4 goals at 3-quarter time. Essendon by 24 points, and the temperature is rising here at Etihad when we return. Welcome back at 3-quarter time, and right after the bell, Westhoff was right into it. Hooker. And suddenly a melee, jumpers torn off, and plenty of passion at 3-quarter times. And there has been so many big stories. Look at them all shaping up there. Jake Melksham. Jeez, have a look at that. Shadow boxing.
He was a good boxer, Jake, as a youngster.
Yeah, he looked like he knew how to put the hands up. But that is the story of the day, of course. Jobe Watson with a suspected broken collarbone. Certainly an injured collarbone. If it's a break, he could be out for anything up to 6 to 8 weeks. And at 3-quarter time, you can see Travis Boak, the captain of Port Adelaide, is really giving it to his team. They have got the extra man. They've activated their sub, but Watson has been out all day. They got within 7 points. Had a chance when Monfries just had a brain fade, having a snap around the corner instead of going back and kicking the goal, as did Jake Melksham at one stage in that quarter, so it was nullified, I suppose, in some ways. Let's go down to David King. Kingy, what have you got for us down there at 3-quarter time?
Well, at 3-quarter time last weekend, it was a game in the balance against your boys, the Pies, and it was Oliver Wines, pick 7 in last year's draft, who got him across the line with a 16 possession last quarter, 8 contested and a goal. Hasn't had a big day today, just a 17, but I think this young man could do it today.
All right, well, let's keep an eye out on Wines, who Anthony Hudson said so beautifully early in the game, will mature beautifully and become a great player. Well done, Huddy. You're working well today. Even Dennis Comedia run, I reckon, a couple of times. Collier at the coalface. Wines will mature. Love it.
Well, there's Cale Hooker and Westhoff. We believe Westhoff on report. So looking forward to that little tussle for the next 30 minutes.
Big game of football here at Etihad Stadium. 2 top 8 teams fighting it out. The Bombers lead by 24 points.
Lobie gets the first tap, and it is Port to go forward, and it is Wines. And Hartlett, who's so damaging with those long kicks. Last one hit the post. This one hits the mark.
Beautifully called, Hutto. Just the perfect start for Port. We talked about their last quarters. We know they're a great finishing team. And what a magnificent kicking.
Put the leg on this bloke is massive.
Look at that. Tag him.
Look at that.
That's inside the centre square, and it's gone over the fence. That's gone 70 metres.
And a good call by David King as well, just nominating Ollie Wines to have a big last quarter involved. Score assist with his first touch in this last quarter.
Wow, what a goal that was. Hamish Hartlett just bangs one through with lazy 65, 70 metres. David King called for the sommelier. He said, we need more wine. And it came out, bang, out of the centre. Here we go.
In 15 seconds.
15 seconds. It's a 3-goal game. Wines in again, going hard. So too in there, Hartlett, who was the great player who kicked that goal before. They go forward again. This time it's Gray. Robbie Gray kicks up, looking for and almost fighting Wingard, but the man of the moment, as he's been for what seems to be 100 years down there, Dustin Fletcher, takes the mark and then clears. Stanton, who is hobbling around on one leg, basically, gets the handball going to Hibbert. Now they come back to Stanton. Now they're a chance here, Port. They just need to press up on him because he can't do too much, but he just chips it out nicely, and the mark has been taken by Heppel.
That entry from Port has to go lower. The high kick, you can see that Wingard and Fletcher, huge height discrepancy. got to kick the ball to grass.
Well done, Merritt. Collier really taking his opportunity today. They're in front, the Bomber forwards. Hurley, full-chested. Bit of biffo off their own man. Didn't help, did it? Because now Porter streaming. Winds again. O'Shea, full head of steam. I thought he slightly misfired the kick, but it's okay. Ebert on the overlap. Got it from Stewart. Intent on a bounce. And now the kick curls back to the top of the square. They come from all angles. Schultz went to ground and then he was out of it.
He even had to hit Westhoff up then.
Yep.
Because you can see Westhoff, and I can understand him too, and he had a look at Eben and said, mate, I was on, and he was. I know the hooker was on him, but that was a perfect pass to really settle him.
Or have a bounce and put it through yourself. Danny Frawley has been calling the action beautifully today from the fullback perspective. And Schultz has been cleaned up, so too there was Goddard. So Schultz is limping, as you can see, in the box at the bottom of the screen. This is a big play here. Zaharakis did it well. Goddard gets it out to Melksham. Melksham out to Heppel, who is in all sorts. And now Westhoff gets the handball going forward. Broadbent is tackled to the ground. Magnificent tackle. No free kick given up there by Dempsey. Great stuff. So Hibbert again looks up, not much on the switch. It's all danger, danger, danger. Under pressure.
Oh, he's gone to ground.
Gone to ground. Here's a chance now for Gray around the body. He's just missed.
Oh, he had to hit Schultz or Westhoff up. No, didn't like it at all, Jono. He had a look. He saw them. And
this is Schultz getting cleaned up earlier.
Well, he throws himself at it, does Jay Schultz. But you're right there.
We'll have another look at that.
Yeah, had the option there to make it easy for the team.
So some nervous moments for the Bombers here. On the way out, Merritt to Bellchambers. Their lead is 16, but they still look vulnerable. The kick angled in nicely. And Melksham, who's been good as well, takes the mark. Just had to wait a fraction longer than he wanted to, Hurley, but he's a very hard man to get past. Big wide body.
Especially when he's on Tommy Logan on that occasion.
So Hurley, who is a big kick, that's a wandering, well, it's touched. Monfries, well, he realised it just when he needed to. Broadbent. And they're away again. No, they're not. O'Shea's kick is brilliantly smothered. Kick screwed back to the top of the goal square by Collier. Might still end in Essendon hands. Wasn't expecting that. Myers took a while to turn round, but when he did! Oh, he kicked the point of the quarter.
Wow. Magnificent bit of play.
Nearly. This game right in the balance at the moment. Bombers by 17 points. So Broadbent from full back decides to go right down the middle. Fletcher just lurking. Big thump by Paddy Ryder was good to Stanton. Off one step and one leg, and Stanton nails it. Kicks it 55 metres, and that's why he stayed on the ground. That is a courageous effort.
We saw James Hird go to Stanton at three-quarter time. But let's have a look at the Robbie Gray. You talk about a two-goal turnaround. Have a look at this here. Look at Schultz. Look at Westhoff. Look at their skipper, Boak. You got three players on their own. All he did was think about himself. He didn't think about the team. And this is what's happened. He's paid the ultimate price for his team here. He needs to do something. And what about Stanton? On one leg, Hird spent a lot of time with him, three-quarter time, asking for effort, and he's getting it.
Been a real great display of leadership, hasn't it, from Brent Stanton today?
It has. He's done a fantastic job. Didn't limp in the celebration. Adrenaline had kicked in. Once he stopped, though, you should have seen the limp.
Ryder to half forward, the Carlisles. And it's the Port Carlisle that comes away with good conviction. Oh, fumble from Boak. Hasn't really been his day. And another fumble, and he was caught. But Hartlett able to take it away out wide. Now, Monfries just lingered for a while. Wasn't a bad kick, but Stewart couldn't quite handle it. Or Melksham running out of room quickly. Heppel, handballed it straight back, hoping for the boundary. Didn't get there. Hartlett, he's kicked one magnificent goal, and now he might have kicked another.
Well, this game is on well and truly. It's goal for goal at the moment in this last quarter, but Hamish Hartlett has started this quarter with 3 disposals, but 2 goals on the back of that, 2 big goals as well. And Essendon, they just mucked it up there on the half-back flank, and Port Adelaide kept the ball alive. You see here their skipper just keeps the ball in, taps it on up to Hartlett with a nice little flick, and a great goal.
A little bit of a falcon there in the crowd to the young fella.
Contact.
But what a start from Harlan.
Yeah,
Look at him, he's good. That's fantastic there.
He's a tough little bomber.
His dad's knee there, but Harlan, 3 disposals, 100%. 2 goals and 1 inside 50.
2 ripping goals, one from 55, 60 metres out, the other from the boundary line. They don't get any better than that, and he's kept Port Adelaide in this game. Now the temperature has gone up. Now bodies are on the line. Now 4 points right on the margin here as Port Adelaide go forward again. Fletcher comes out. Great play.
Good defence.
They've got the numbers. Hibbert at the back. Kicks it to centre half forward. Stays up in here a long time. Good stuff. Dyson Heppel, fantastic play. Dempsey now through the middle of the ground.
He looks out this way, Commer's on the ground. No, missed him.
Ryder goes long. Broadbent wants the boundary line.
Stanton just couldn't get there that time.
Oh, it's great courage from Stanton, Hutto. You can see he's on one leg and they're putting him deep in the forward line there, the Bombers, just to help the rotations.
Oh. Dangerous kick here, but even. Good play. Almost could have got 50 for that. Was dragged after he landed. Chips it forward. Good stuff again. Stewart gets the handball working. Pitted. 55 out on the left boot. Looks good, is good touch. Oh. Right on the line.
Got Bagley, Ed.
Yeah, we'll have a look at this.
Oh, we'll check anyway. Score review. Umpire scores this touch. Please double check.
Well, everyone's had a look. Hawkeye being tested this weekend. This might be just a trial here, but that is clearly touched.
Yeah, well done, Mark Bagley. Kept his eyes on the ball. And when you're running that way, you see this third eye here as well. When you're running that way as a defender,
Look at that. How good's that vision?
that's absolutely magnificent there.
Just wait for the point.
Good courage because you don't know where the goalpost is. He kept his eyes right on the ball. Great footage.
Very lucky there too, because I don't think Essendon realised, as the pointer signalled, that who ran through then for Port Adelaide was Pitt. I don't think they realised he was a left footer.
Yeah.
Well, the ball, they wouldn't like the way the ball is zinging around right now, Essendon, because it looks like there's going to be goals scored in this game. And they lead. They hold the lead of 16 points. Port still would fancy themselves. Ebert, aggressive, going one way then the other. Sets it up. It's hard to mark that. He's looking for a free. Schultz. Pears had his measure.
It just wasn't a great kick. Had to kick the ball to grass. And you could see Schultz had to stop and prop. And once you do that, you just bring your defender into the game.
Well, they get set up again here for a big throw-in.
Ryder brings it to his feet. Lobey goes again. Hartlett, surely not. Not.
Probably the percentage play, get that one to the top of the square.
I thought he was running hot, I think, Danny.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Their pressure's lifted again, Port. They've really got some energy here. They feel they're in this game. You can sense the run starting to take hold. It's game on here.
Bell Chambers flicks it over the top. Oh, beautiful stuff. But then gave it up. I reckon if they get away with one, you shouldn't go for the second one. Ebert's kick. Just tried to finesse it in. Goddard's handball was good. Hooker has been sensational. The love child of Danny Frawley today as Bagley gets the ball out wide. And Winderlook, who was so good in the second term with 2 goals, has kicked 3 for the day. Out on centre wing. Bangs it long inside 50. Bombers need to keep it up this end of the ground for a little while. They just need to run the clock down as well. Comma was in there trying to wrench the ball out. Ball comes out to Need. Need goes again. Comma goes again. Gets on top of it. And that is a good result. Well done for the Bombers there. Comma had about 2 or 3 efforts.
Just need to make sure that Port have got one behind the pack here. Essendon will probably try and tap the ball away from their goal.
Goddard tried to do it all and almost did. Wines held his hand long enough.
Perfect tackle.
Myers.
Absolutely perfect tackle. He was away, Ollie, there, but he just got the arm and he was trying to release instead of trying to get the ball in the boot. But it was absolutely a great tackle there from Myers. Because they're away then, Port. He gets through that tackle there. Yep. Players break into space.
He's a thumping kick, Myers.
There's the tackle there at the bottom of the screen. Perfect.
Will it be straight? We've seen some big roosts tonight so far. David Myers for the Bombers. Oh, boy. 17 the difference.
2 behinds David Myers in this last term. So plenty of time.
Brad Ebert's just come off clutching at that left hamstring just on that last defensive lunge. he's in a bit of trouble.
He didn't look too good running off, Kingy.
Keep an eye there, Kingy, but Ebert, one of the stars of this Port Adelaide side, one of the stars of the competition.
Wines is down at the moment.
It's down there, some fire going left, right, centre. Zaharakis fires and hits the spot. Zaharakis kicks a big goal.
There's been some big goals. At the start of this last quarter, Wines coming off the ground. He's okay. Looked like he was down for the count, but what about the kick? We know that Zaharakis can do this. He did an Anzac Day clash a few years ago to kick the seal. Have a look at this. Off 2 steps, 65 metres. Tied legs.
How is it with the air tonight?
Yeah, 24 disposals, 7 inside 50s, 2-1. That's a great return for a half forward.
Footy definitely travels further here at night, I reckon, than it does anywhere else, Jono.
Oh, normally the
support me, can you support me?
So it's always...
There's some massive kicks
here.
There
massive kicks in today's game.
23 points the difference. I didn't like look in your eye after I said that. As Wingard kicks to half forward. Now, they need to answer straight away. Boak took it from the Stewart handball. Wines back out there on the ground. Got it to Boak. Zaharakis doing the hard stuff, not just the fancy stuff. Laid a big tackle. Westhoff. A wild old kick. And it's through for a behind.
John, you can see Boak, the skipper, was trying to do the right thing, but the right thing on that occasion when he got the ball the first time was kick the goal.
Port free kick in the goal square. Westhoff got put on his back.
Tommy Bellchambers it was.
Yep. It's a goal right in the goal square. No one knows what's doing out there. Now the umpire tells him.
Well, it was silly from Tommy Bellchambers. We knew what happened at 3/4 time was going to bubble overhead, but that's just undisciplined. Essendon have got the ball.
Crazy stuff. And Gray puts it through for his third. And that brings them right back in it again.
Well, Tommy Bellchambers straight onto the phone, guys. Straight off the ground. You can see the free kick there. And look, it's there. It's head high. Right in front of the umpire. And I know he started the game well, but you can see James Hird, Bellchambers sprinted to the bench, straight on the phone. And I'm sure that James Hird gave him a nice old earful. And fair enough too.
They've got a spare forward here. They've got a spare forward. Port Adelaide's caused confusion here.
They're all running down in the forward 50, round in circles. Essendon trying to find one. Heppel comes off the wing to go down to centre half back at the moment. And it's Ryder who grabs it out of the ruck. What a game we've had. There's been brain fades aplenty in this game, as well as some magnificent skill. And Zaharakis just slaps the ball out. Now the race is on. Jonas gets there first, gets a decent bounce, looks up, not much on. So he has to keep it short. Goes past his teammates. Winderlich, just a sweeping handball out wide. He saw numbers. Stanton off one step, kicks forward again. Coming up was Hurley, couldn't quite hold the mark. Taps out. Ball spills out to Pittard. His kick is up to wing, and Hibbert gets to the front, takes the mark in front of Boak.
He does. His vision is back into the middle of the ground, where Winderlich was waiting. Ryder was spent a long time at centre half forward calling for it. Dempsey goes further. The chase is on. Carlisle, Trem goes. Got Melksham there if he wants to get it out to him. He couldn't do so. No free kick. Hartlett, despite the cries and protests. And good stuff. Zaharakis over the top. Kept it bubbling. Corns went to ground. Flipped it up. Lobey. Bombers circling here. They need to. Zaharakis to the square again. Howlett had to wait an age. And Tommy Logan come over the top.
Gee, some great contests all over the ground. At ground level in the air, we saw Trengove and Carlisle just compete in the air. It was a magnificent effort from both players.
Some tight boys out there now. Halfway stage of the last term. Lobey in the tangle with Ryder. Melksham looking for the free or the footy. Both get waved on. Lobey, I should say Jonas with the high kick. Schiltz knocked away from Pears. Hibbert, can he see off Boak? He can. Under pressure with the kick though.
Big ball this one.
Goddard looking for, not sure what he was looking for, just trying to get where the ball was going to drop. Wines to Monfries. They work the angles through the middle. It's one-on-one inside the 50. And Gray moved at the right time. Schiltz came back with it. And he'll have the shot. It's in pretty good hands.
Well, he's a magnificent set shot, Hutto.
Going back to 10 points if he kicks truly here.
Well, he's one of the best set shots in the competition.
Let's not forget that the Bombers have been a man down, and what a man too, their captain Jobe Watson for most of this game. So tired legs, the rotation's not there for the Bombers. We know that they're a very good side. They've won more games coming from behind, 4 games this year at half-time, the Bombers. So they've got plenty of stamina, but this team has been the best last quarter team of the year.
They have. Schultz is on the runway. He started that well right and can't get it to come back. Play on. Oh. Precarious stuff there on the last line.
Well, as expected, the stats in this last quarter are completely even. Contested ball, clearances, contests, inside 50s.
From the kick out, Port Adelaide get it on the rebound. Broadbent, handballs inside. Chance now for Moore, who kicks beautifully. Oh, they've got another shot here.
That's the perfect kick, Ed. If we had to kick the ball long, Essendon were getting back in numbers, the high ball. That's a beautifully weighted kick.
So Paul Stewart, what an opportunity to get this game back to 9 points. Still plenty of time, as you can see, 8 minutes and 55 seconds. So Stewart, Schultz missed a set shot moments ago. He needs to drain this kick. Starts at left and it stays there. And Port Adelaide are missing their opportunities.
Well, they are, Ed. They've had the 10 inside 50s for 9 scoring shots. But unfortunately, 3 goals, 6. But the beauty is, the Essendon defence are under extreme pressure because Port are scoring at will every time it gets in there.
Fletcher puts his hopes in Bellchambers, charging through Windlook. Next touch crucial. It goes which way? Essendon or Port Adelaide? Neither in the end. It's almost a set of bounce, except of course everyone's allowed in on the act. Umpire gets it quickly, throws it up. Lobey down to Monfries. Hooker well placed. Didn't mark it though.
Well,
fended it away. Gray pretty much just puts it down. Hooker. Oh, what was Dustin Fletcher thinking?
Bit of soccer work.
It's contagious. The old brain fades. Jakey Need, good spoil away. Collier once, Collier twice.
Bit of speed here with these 2 boys. Look at them.
It's a great foot race with a little bit of contact added.
Well done, both players. That's exciting.
Crowd loved it.
Good contest.
There's been good Collier coming on for Jobe Watson, hasn't he? He's got the old famous number 32 of another Watson. Tim, of course. What a superstar Tim Watson was a player. That's stripped, and Boak has really lifted as the skipper. Gets the handball going now. Wines. Little chip kick up in the air. Just set it up nicely for Schultz. Good play there at the back of the pack. Hooker takes it to the boundary line with a throw in.
Good use of the body from Pears. He's looking for the free kick. It was beautifully.
Well done. He's been fantastic. But this is where he's going to make his money. Needs to hit somebody in the ruck contest. Goes up. Goddard flicks it to the boundary line. Boat close in, tight. Snaps across the face of goal through for a point. So Port Adelaide's last 3 shots have resulted in behinds. The footy gods only give you so many chances, Dermot Brereton says. So the Bombers, their big chance. They lead by 13 points. You reckon if they get the next goal, they might be able to hang on?
Port, though, but Port are scoring at will, as I said, 12 inside 50s for 10 scoring shots.
Oh, Heppel, an uncomfortable moment, but it got there. Now, he just tells everyone to calm down. And there's not a lot of run from behind, you have to say, for Essendon. Down the line, favours Ryder and Hurley. Nothing at ground level for the Bombers. It's all Port. So once they didn't take the mark, Port were back in control. Carlisle. Oh, it's good body position. And Wingard takes it and quickly moves it. And he protected the space brilliantly. He's a bit sore there, Schultz.
What about the kick? That was a magnificent kick. Just honouring the lead. And that's what your forwards have got to do. They need half a chance.
And a couple of times today as well, Spud, Wingard's marking ability, using his body in the marking contest, has just been first class.
Danny, they can't miss 4 in a row with 3 slip shots in a row and expect to win this game.
He's got to know this.
They are coming. How fast are they coming?
Oh, another poster. It's 3 posters in the last half. Well, put the Moz on him. He said he's one of the best set shots in the competition. That's 3 goals, 8 now in this last quarter.
It's astonishing, isn't it? 11 scoring shots to 4.
Yep.
And they're 2 goals short as we speak.
They're still right in this, Port. They just keep peppering the inside 50s. Eventually it'll go through the big sticks.
Bellchambers lucky not to give away a free kick there. That was a bit unrealistic, but they go forward again. Port Adelaide. Westhoff's there, so too Need. Here's Westhoff, just picked it out of nowhere, has a flying shot at the goals, and again it's a behind.
When they have a look at the tape with regards to the score, just the amount of times they could have kicked the ball to the top of the square on the boundary line, they nearly win the game.
Goddard and Stanton both on the bench at the moment for Essendon. So 2 of their leaders not out there. There's a big grab from Pears and decides to move clear straight to centre half forward Hurley. He can wind it up on a night like this. He was capable of going the distance. Tommy kicked 3 early. Big Bellchambers loping after it. Has he got any energy to do much with it? He's passed it reasonably well. Howlett's got the grab.
Yeah, the kick from Hurley, he just had to give it a bit more weight because both ruckmen were running and Bellchambers was always in the box seat, and Lovey knew he was done, but the kick unfortunately didn't get to Bellchambers.
Big kick this. Port Adelaide within 2 kicks.
You're right, Ed. Port have had the last 6 scoring shots behind. This will hurt.
It would be a mighty kick from here. Howlett looks uncertain. He was uncertain. Goddard had to rush the kick. Tats, though they don't even get the scoring shot, which could still be critical at the end of the day.
Then he ran the wrong side there.
Well, I was just about to say it. He had to run 20 metres inboard from the handball receiver to run to the left. He was always going to put pressure on his kicking leg.
Short boundary throw in. Ryder. Corns was ready to read it. Myers, that powerful left. It's curling. It's curling.
That's at both posts.
The woodwork's getting some work tonight.
He's kicked 3 behinds this quarter, David Myers. So with 4 minutes and 50 on the clock, there could be a draw here, boys. So Carlisle, Port Adelaide have looked the goods this quarter. They just can't get it a major on the scoreboard. Bombers. Heppel has been fantastic. Gets the ball working to Pears. Pears lines it up, kicks to the front of the square.
There it is.
Carlisle dropped the mark. Off hands. Goddard this time. Goal! Goddard kicks the goal. Bombers grab the game by the scruff of the neck.
Well, we've seen Port plays away from the boundary line in the last quarter. Pears was on the boundary line, looked inboard, played team football. Carlisle should have taken the mark, but it still put Port under extreme pressure. And Goddard on the left just swung in beautifully. Oh, it must have been a coat of varnish between the ball and the goalpost. Wow.
Some serious talk on that kick.
It was the right rotation at the right time.
Let's have a look at the third eye. Oh, great vision. Look at that. Coat of varnish.
Look at that.
Another coat of varnish on the post, and she hits a point, but great goal.
Still 4 minutes 23 to go. Still time for Port. Can they storm out of the middle again? As they have on quite a few occasions. Yes, Lobey. Need. Smashed away. It's going to come back though. Wingard. They reload. And they're in best position, the Bombers. Just a matter of who.
Well, we just saw the inside 50s. Essendon 12 for 3 goals 3. Port 15 for 3 goals 9 this last quarter.
There's a Bomber down.
Yeah. Is it Bagley, I think?
And Goddard's just retaliated.
Yeah.
Stupid play from Brendan Goddard.
Well, that was stupid from Brendan because you can point at your teammate that's down.
Bagley
Bagley, but Brendan should have known that there was no free kick for that, so you just got to play to the whistle.
O'Shea into the pocket, again heavily populated by Bombers, and they didn't really synchronise too well. So Hurley's gone down in defence with reinforcements. Monfries owes them one. That's a great kick, but unfortunately it's not going to be a goal. And Fletcher can go short to Myers, and Bagley's recovered. He can run it, but they're going to be in no hurry now, Essendon.
But it's just another one. If it goes to the top of the square, it puts big pressure on the Essendon defenders. Spall comes down, anything can happen when the ball hits the deck.
Good to play on. Fletcher won't panic. Look at that off one step, just drills it long.
Yeah, well, Hurley's gone loose behind the ball, so Port just need to be aware that when they do bomb it long, they're going to an outnumbered situation.
So last roll of the dice is Wines. Sticks his head over the ball, gets it down. Corns off his back heel, just kicks it forward. Fletcher just thumps it out. goes to Goddard, and he just needs to kick it long and strong, and he does, because Winderlich is almost like a new recruit out there after that back surgery. Has been fantastic today. The kick in front of Bellchambers, well, that's good enough. It's up the right end. Let's have a look at the off-the-ball stuff that we're looking for. Just at the top there, a little bit of a bump going through there.
Then Goddard, unfortunately, the retaliator is always the one that gets caught, pulls him down, and look, it was a free kick. The umpire missed it. It was off the ball. It was a cheap shot from O'Shea.
But not only that, though. I mean, Goddard puts himself in jeopardy of getting rubbed out.
Spot on. What about the spoil from Fletcher?
He does, but you've got to support your teammates as well. You could try not to give away the free kick, but you can't take away.
Send him a Christmas card. Don't give up a goal at this stage.
Yeah, timing's critical, no doubt, but you've still got to support your mates out there.
So it's Paddy Ryder. He's going to roll it up, set it to full forward. Can they get another mark to Tommy Bellchambers?
Well, he gave away a goal 15 minutes ago, Hutto. He went to the bench, popped the rat from James Hird. And I think Hirdy would have said, you owe us one. And now he gets his opportunity.
Carlisle got hurt in the goal square there.
Carlisle's been injured himself, we believe, in the warm-up. Had a bad back. And he has stayed out there. Stanton has stayed out there on one leg for most of the game. Joe Watson was gone early in the match with a suspected broken collarbone. It's been a mighty effort by the Bombers.
3 goals, 1 for Bellchambers to put the game beyond doubt. What an eventful afternoon. And Tom Bellchambers has kicked 4 goals. And the Bombers now have got this game in their keeping, but it's going to be great to see the emotion at the end of this game and see the reaction of the fans, because they know they've lost some serious firepower from here on in with Joe Watson, and we don't know how Stanton will recover as well from today.
Bellchambers 9 marks, 16 disposals, 4 goals, 1, but it was his first quarter that set things up early for the Essendon Footy Club.
Well, a great fight back. The Bombers have had their backs against the wall all through this game, all through this season for that matter. Port Adelaide have had their chances this quarter, but they squandered them. There's no doubt about that, Johnny. You just cannot miss those shots at goals the way Port Adelaide did the better quality side like Essendon away from home.
No, you can't. You've got to just make the most of those opportunities, and if they had have done that, their last quarter, for so many inside 50s, to not get that extra goal on the board. 3 goals, 9 this quarter from 18 entries.
Brendan Goddard's got the angry pills at the moment. I tell you what, a 5-goal win will be an absolute ripper for the Bombers. They've got 1:15 to kick a goal. They lead by 24 points. With all the things going against them today, this will be a great victory. Another one in season 2013 for this football club that is under siege. And who's got it? Just to ice the cake in round 15, but Tommy Bellchambers lining up for goal number 5.
What do you reckon, Ed?
I think you'll put it through. It's one of those days. That's why we come. That's it. That's why we come every week. If we knew what was going to happen, no one would turn up. It is the most unpredictable of games, and Tom Bellchambers comes in, lines it up and puts it straight through the middle. His 5th goal, and the Bombers win by those 5 goals.
That's one of the highest 5s in the game, John.
That's right up there. You've got to jump to get right up there with Tom Bellchambers. But look, it's been the last 4 or 5 minutes of play. Essendon were able to keep control of the footy and get forward and use it effectively going forward, which they were able to do quite effectively in the first half. But Bellchambers, it's been his day. 5 goals, 1. Excellent display.
So the score is 18-10, 118, Port Adelaide 12-16, 88, 28 scoring shots apiece, but the Bombers lead by 5 goals. Out of the centre, Port Adelaide with 20 seconds left on the clock. Winderlich deserves to get the ball in his hands. He's had a mighty day today. He's been fantastic. Look at him go. Wonderful stuff. 10 seconds left on the clock. He has run himself into the ground. Ryder flicks it up over the top. 5 seconds. Can they steal one right at the last gasp here? Port Adelaide. It won't be enough. Wingard finished with the ball. But what a win it has been for Essendon. Once again, backs to the wall. The Bombers prevail at Etihad Stadium.
An exhaustive afternoon, Jono, in many ways. They've lost their captain, Joe Watson, for we don't know how long, but a wonderful win. And we've said it so often this year with Essendon. What a year that's all with the backdrop. We know all that's been going on, yet on the field, they've shown enormous courage.
Well, they have again today, especially with Carlisle possibly hurting his back in the warm-up. So to get through the game today was a great effort. Stanton as well with the lower leg injury to then fight on with the rotations. It was a great effort. They were challenged in that last quarter from Port Adelaide, who couldn't kick a goal, but great effort in the end from the Bombers.
Yeah, great effort for the Bombers, no doubt about that. But the story of the game is Joe Watson, who was hit with a good hip and shoulder by Justin Westhoff. Nothing in it as far as Westhoff's got nothing to worry about.
Nothing at all.
But the Bombers got plenty to worry about. Doc Reed there speaking to Joe Watson, who comes off the bench there and just hits the female trainer with his bung shoulder. But we're just about ready to go down to David King now. Let's go down to David King with one of the stars of the afternoon.
I've got one of the stars here, Tommy Bell-Chambers. Tommy, fantastic game personally. A 5-goal bag, is that your best?
Yeah, that's the best. It was good to get onto the end of a couple tonight. The boys made it easy with the delivery down to the forward line late in the game, and it was a good win in the end.
All the focus has been about Carlisle being the swingman going forward and kicking goals. You put your name up in lights today?
I don't know about that. Jakey's had a fantastic year, both down back and up forward now, so it's good to have that versatility in a player like Jakey that we can throw him forward, and he's done the job for us at times.
Shared the duties with Paddy Ryder again today in the ruck. What goes through your mind when Joe Watson leaves the field so early?
Yeah, it's obviously disappointing for Joe to leave the field early, and I think others stood up well in that leadership role. Joe obviously does it really well at times, so we had to all stand up today, and I thought Brent Stanton played a really good game. Brendan Goddard, they really lead from the front.
What was Hurdy's main message at quarter time when you're all aware that Joe was probably going to play a small role from there forward, not on field, obviously off field? What was his message at quarter time to the group?
Yeah, that was, I guess, the leadership, spreading the load with the leadership out in the ground, and I think we did that really well, and we had to tidy up a few things around the contest early in the game. Port really came out firing, and a credit to them, we got on top of them in the second half.
Go and do what a big man does and run them through each of your 5 goals in the rooms, mate. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
David King out there with big Tom Bell-Chambers. 5 goals, 3 in the first quarter was fantastic, Jono, and then 2 in the last quarter, including the one just to seal the deal. As we'll try and get over to Joe Watson at the moment. Kingy's trying to get over just to find out what's going on. But just in the huddle at the moment, the Essendon players signing the balls, and Joe Watson trying to get off the ground. He's track-suited up, and David King going over, doing a great job, the intrepid reporter that he is, and trying to get the interview with the captain. He's doing very well down there. He's fighting a losing battle. He might have him. Let's go down to Kingy now.
Yeah, I'm down here with Joe. Look, mate, unfortunate what's going on. How are you feeling? And obviously, early signs are it's a collarbone.
Yeah, it looks like it's just a pretty easy, pretty simple break, and it's footy, you know. It's just the game, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You'll push through it. You've been a fantastic leader for the last 10 years at the football club. It's an amazing story. You've had such an up and down year. This is just another little hit in 2013.
Yeah, I mean, it was just great the way that the guys played, and we've sort of been rope-a-doping a bit for the whole season, so the way the guys responded again today, it's just the testimony to the group and the character of it, and hopefully we can carry on for the rest of the season.
You've had 1,000 bumps like that through your career. Did you know straight away you were in trouble?
I felt something, and then I pushed down, and I thought, it's all right, it's gone back in, because I've never broken a bone before. But then Reedy said, no, you're in trouble, mate. I'm not letting you go back out. So, but the pain wasn't too bad.
Early diagnosis, how many weeks is the doc saying?
He'll say 4 weeks, so I missed 4.
Oh, good luck, mate. We hope to see you back bigger and better than ever.
Thanks, King. Cheers.
Joe Watson, what a champion he is. Can you believe that? There's a bloke who said his collarbone broken. Yep. And all the dramas, he could well walk past anyone in the media for the rest of his life, but he stands there as Essendon captain, and the quality person that he is, gives the interview not only to those at home but also for his Bomber faithful. He hopes a month. I think that's a little bit optimistic. You'd think it might need to get a plate put in there. But Joe Watson will be back, no doubt about that, in season 2013. The Bombers have racked up another meritorious victory, a hard-fought victory against a great side in Port Adelaide. Essendon by 5 goals at Etihad.
What an afternoon and early evening we've had at the footy, Brad Johnson, and what a day for Tom Bellchambers. He came out and kicked 3 goals in the opening quarter, but Port's pressure was there right from the start, wasn't it? They led by 7 points at quarter time. That was the most dramatic moment of the day. Watson down with a collarbone, all the care and concern and the worry. He's going to have a spell for at least a month. But Bombers turn it on in the second term.
Yeah, they had an excellent second quarter. Kicked 6 goals to 1 in this quarter. It was Hurley who was influential in this quarter. Goddard started to get his game going. Ryder started to have an impact in the ruck and give him first use through clearances.
Into the third term, and Port did hit back, and it was a former Bomber, Angus Monfries, kicked 3 and should have kicked the 4th, but decided to play on. He'll be regretting that for a long time. Essendon just had the steadying goals when they needed, which was really the story of the day to somewhat, wasn't it? They had the goals when they needed. Westhoff, I think, went into the book for that. Hooker went down. The game was always on a bit of an edge. Hartlett kicked this memorable long goal. What a goal it was. And they looked a chance still, didn't they?
Excellent start from Port Adelaide in the last quarter. They started to come. They got it back to it within, 7 points it was. But then Goddard, he was the steadying influence for the Bombers right at the end. Kicks that goal to seal victory for the Essendon Footy Club.
So another win notched up to Essendon. They've kicked 18 goals, 10, 118. Tommy Bellchambers had the day out, kicked 5 goals. Winderlick and Hurley with 3. Monfries kicked 4 goals for Port Adelaide. And Gray returned to form with 3 goals. And so in the end, it's another emotional afternoon for Essendon fans to go through. And it has a very, very happy ending for them.
Well, it does. On the back of that, Watson's out injured, of course, but then Stanton was injured. He fought hard and showed some great leadership throughout the game as well, and just had to play his role in the end, come on, because rotations are a big part of today's game, so that Essendon could keep their rotations going, and that was important right towards the end.
Where does Essendon sit as far as you're concerned, as far as the premiership contenders are concerned?
Well, watching them live today for the first time in a few weeks, they're right up there. They got quality right across the board. I was impressed with Port Adelaide, who I have seen a fair bit throughout the year as well. As the ladder comes up now, and Essendon sitting right up there in the top 4, deserve to be there. Port Adelaide, after today's performance, once again, they've had 3 big weeks of footy, competed hard again today, sit there in 8th spot, and they're a big chance to play finals footy this year.
They showed that they are worthy of finals again today, even though they haven't ended up winning, and St Kilda had another loss down there in 16. So did Melbourne. Both put up quite good shows, but all the action here at Etihad Stadium was for the Bomber fans in the end, and I'm sure they would enjoy this victory here at Etihad Stadium. Joe Watson, of course, the big story. Dustin Fletcher, he wasn't all that excited about the song. He was just trying to get the Powerade lid off, and he finally got it off, so he's really happy now.
First game back in today, Dustin Fletcher did a fantastic job. Some massive spoils again from Dustin Fletcher. Some huge kicks into the middle of the ground out of fullback as well, and he's just a delight to watch 20 years into his career.
It's just an amazing array of big fellas that Essendon have got, isn't it? I mean, we saw Bellchambers today kick 5 goals. We saw Hurley and Carlisle both play forward, and yet the defenders that were still left in the defensive arc, obviously Fletcher doing what he's done for all those years, and also Hooker and Pears
is the other one
good jobs as well.
They did, and when they brought the ball to ground, you thought Port Adelaide would have an advantage there, but even the smalls then for Essendon and their midfielders got back really well to help the defenders out, and away they went.
I wonder what the coach makes of it all, James Hird. He's had some obstacles to get over. He's got another one today to deal with now on, and here he is down with David King.
Oh, it has been an amazing season for the Bombers. You fascinated us all, Hirdy, I've got to say, but that was a tough win. That was a great win. What was the coach's assessment, your assessment?
Look, it was. We see Port Adelaide as a quality team. I think they had that flat patch in the middle of the year, but they've come out and played some really good football against Sydney and Collingwood, and their work around the contest was outstanding. Just talking to the guys straight after the game, they saw, Port Adelaide's contest work to be as good as Geelong's and Sydney's, and that's a pretty good rap from our boys who hold those two teams in high regard. So they're going in the right direction. I thought we got away with a really good win after some good football.
You lose your captain today for what will probably be a month or so of football. What are your initial thoughts there?
Yeah, I think he's got a broken collarbone, so we'll go away. I think he'll probably have an operation next day or two to plate it, and we hope so. And back in a month, and that's the early prognosis, but hopefully a little bit better than that. We'll wait and see.
What's the major difference this year with the conditioning of the group you've seen? This second half of the year started really positively. Last year probably fell apart late in the year with some injuries. This group looks like they could really take some giant strides late in the year.
Yeah, look, we hope so, King. I mean, we're a side that just wants to build and get better. It's another year of performing, another pre-season for our younger guys. Some senior guys who want success, they haven't had success, and they're conditioned to the point that they can run out games. And probably halfway through that last quarter, Port were running out all over us, but managed to get a goal, steady the game, and it was a good result.
Did you get any answers forward of centre today? Bell Chambers kicks 5. You had Hurley, Carlisle, all of them down there.
Yeah, we tried to throw a few combinations at Port, and it just, more no answers, more questions, and who knows? It's a great thing to have because we've got all these quality tools. They all play well at certain times, and our side will start to shuffle and mix around. But the good thing about, I think you can only play 2 ruckmen when they're marking the ball up forward, and the great thing today is that Tommy marked the ball, kicked 5, and it was a good performance by him, Paddy.
Well done, another great win.
Thanks, King Tom.
Well done to James Hird and to Kingy. He's been very busy this afternoon down there. All right, give us the final word, the final 15 seconds, I guess, on either side today. The efforts of both sides today.
Well, Port Adelaide's work was very impressive once again. They're showing that they're starting to raise their standards. Their senior players are playing okay, but the younger players in their side are still standing up and having an impact, which is important for them.
And the impact of no Jobe Watson. I know they've got the Bulldogs next week, but for the next month or so, the impact of no Jobe.
Oh, look, it's going to be a huge loss, no doubt. But Brendan Goddard showed today that he can go into the middle of the ground and have an impact. He had 29 disposals. Rakus was influential again. So they've got enough through the midfield just to cover the loss of Jobe Watson for the next month.
So an eventful afternoon and early evening, as I mentioned here at Etihad Stadium. I'm sure there's plenty of fodder for the boys on After the Bounce. We saw all sorts of incidents and accidents take place. The old brain fade was in fashion for a while. Great game of footy. Thank you, Jono. Hope everyone enjoyed it, but let's join the boys for After the Bounce.